His hometown of Chicago make it 4 in a row. How do the Bears react to the loss of injured quarterback Rex Grossman? The Chicago Bears come on to the Soldier Field turf on a chilly and windy day in the aptly named Windy City with a 1-2 record and a tall task ahead going against the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. And welcome to Chicago, everybody. Dick Stockton along with Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. And the season could not have started any better for the Philadelphia Eagles. They couldn't have choreographed it any better. 3-0, everything going their way so far, Daryl.
The big thing is they seem to gain confidence after every game. Nothing seems to faze them on the offensive side of the ball, and it's all started with the play of Donovan McNabb. All the big playmakers have gotten into the act, but I think their best football could be yet to come because defensively, they didn't have an opportunity to practice together during training camp. They're just starting to gel, so this team could even be better as we move forward.
Tough thing to think about.
Yeah, scary.
Meanwhile, what are the chances for the Chicago Bears today, who are starting Jonathan Quinn at quarterback, who is unproven, and the quarterback on defense, Brian Urlacher, is missing in this game as well?
It's going to be very difficult for the Chicago Bears this afternoon, and Lovie Smith has a quiet sense of confidence. He has confidence that these systems that he has installed in Chicago, you can plug players in and they can go in and perform, but you have to be realistic, and he's lost some key guys. Jonathan Quinn, though, he's a gentleman who's been in this offense in Kansas City for 2 years, maybe knows it a little bit better than Rex Grossman, so it'll be interesting. And remember, this is the same offense that's produced backup quarterbacks such as Kurt Warner and Mark Bulger.
No question about that. Meanwhile, you wonder if Donovan McNabb is thinking he can pick apart a Bears defense that is missing now 3 of their starting 4 in the secondary.
The one place that you cannot be hurt by injuries when you play the Philadelphia Eagles is the secondary, and unfortunately, that's what's the case for the Chicago Bears right now. There are so many playmakers on the offensive side of the ball for the Eagles that Donovan McNabb just goes through his progression, finds that open guy. It's going to be difficult to match up. The one thing they can't do is give up the big chunk. They can't have a big play, make Philadelphia earn everything down the field.
All right, Daryl, those are the thoughts up here. Goose, what do you got down on the field?
Well, you talk about windy. It's very windy down here, and they're going to have a tough time throwing the ball around on both sides of the ball. But if you look at the matchup, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. The Chicago Bears match up very well with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles want to get the big plays with Westbrook and Terrell Owens. But the Chicago Bears are playing very, very sound defense. Gap control up front, and they like to control the clock. It's going to be a fight today.
All right, and can't be that cold. He's wearing short sleeves down there. There's still time to select your singular fantasy football team for this week. Text message 63504 on your singular wireless phone or vote on foxsports.com.
You're watching Fox. Cue to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Gentlemen, the hopes of an entire town are riding on your shoulders.
Field, you're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in the world's finest high-definition standard. And just before the coin toss, those are the 4 captains today for the Bears. Olin Kreutz and Patrick Mannelly are always out there. But today, Adewale Ogunleye and Lance Briggs join them. And the reason why we mention this is because it has been a jinx to be a Bear captain because Mike Brown, Brian Urlacher, and Rex Grossman, who have been out there as captains, have been injured in the last 2 weeks. So Kreutz hope that the jinx doesn't extend to him, Moose.
Yeah, and Mike Brown and Rex Grossman, they are lost for the year. They're going to try and rest Brian Urlacher. They've got the bye next week to make sure he's 100% when he comes back, but 2 of those 3 captains gone for the season.
The Eagles leading the league in average starting position after the kickoff, and J.R. Reed grabs the short kickoff for the Eagles and carries it beyond the 30-yard line. So that's not going to help Chicago one bit. A 20-yard return for Reed. And the lineups now for the Philadelphia Eagles. And here is Donovan McNabb, who's started the best 3-game stretch of his career. And the NFC Offensive Player of the Month in the month of September, coming back to Chicago, where he started Mount Carmel High School. In fact, the last game he played in high school was on the Soldier Field turf. Eagles will start from the 31-yard line. And their offense has been nothing short of a machine so far this year. Throwing on first down and going underneath to Brian Westbrook. who's been a very important factor in the Eagles' offense, if not the most important, picking up 8 yards on the play. The Eagles' offensive line: Trey Thomas, Artis Hicks, Hank Fraley, Jermaine Mayberry banged up but is starting at right guard, and Jon Runyan.
And there's a group of wide receivers. Terrell Owens off to a great start, and one of the reasons the play calling has become aggressive for the Eagles is his play on the outside.
2nd and 2 from the 39. Dorsey Levens in the game, but it's play action. McNabb rolling out to his right and completing to Todd Pinkston. And the Eagles get into Bear territory and a first down after picking up 14. Defensively for the Chicago Bears, and this is their defensive front right now. And it's going to be Ogunleye and Alex Brown at end, and the rookies Tommy Harris and Tank Johnson at tackle.
Donovan McNabb very impressed by the play of the outside linebackers.
And the secondary, and they have been banged up. On first down, Brian Westbrook picking up good yardage, nearly 5 yards, before R.W. McQuarters makes the tackle. So Philadelphia moving the ball nicely in their first possession.
And it's something that they have done on a consistent basis to start the season. They come out in a quick start. The one concern that Andy Reid has for this team is finishing games. They've played well the first 3 games of the season, but he's nervous about them finishing. But, you know, when you've got the leads that they have, I don't necessarily know if it's a question of whether they can finish. It's just keeping that emotional intensity the whole time.
2 tight ends for the Eagles, and here's Westbrook with running room off the right side and dives forward close to the first down near the 35-yard line. So the Philadelphia Eagles, who have scored 88 points in the first 3 games.
You're going to run on the outside. You've got to have a great block by your tackle, number 69, Jon Runyan. Watch what he does to Adewale Ogunleye right there. He gets on that outside shoulder and gets him turned and pinned to the inside. And if you're going to run on the outside, you have to have that play. And you saw number 81, Terrell Owens, come back and take a defender off his feet. So Terrell Owens becoming a much more complete wide receiver in this system.
And the Eagles running right at the Bears' best pass rusher. So a first down on the 35 of Chicago, and Westbrook going in motion. And plenty of time to find an open man, and it's T.O., Terrell Owens. And Owens picking up nearly 9 yards on that play with McQuarters and the rookie Nathan Vasher, who is starting his first NFL game. He is a 4th-round draft pick from Texas. So the Bears playing without Charles Tillman and Jerry Azuma, their starting corners. And Mike Brown, of course, lost for the season with the ruptured Achilles.
And that may be the biggest hit of all. Mike Brown is their playmaker. And to not have him and Brian Urlacher on the defense is just something that's going to be so difficult for this defense to overcome.
2nd down and 1, and there is Ogunleye, who had a couple of sacks last week in the loss to Minnesota, and the going underneath up the middle to Owens. They don't only go deep to Terrell Owens, they go underneath as well. Joe Odom on the tackle, but another first down.
And this is a play that the Philadelphia offense starts out with quite a bit. What they do is they get a guy right in here into the middle of the field. He'll just pop up right into the vision of Donovan McNabb, and it's like stealing for these guys. You see it a lot with Chad Lewis on first down. He's got work on the outside. He's going through progression. If he doesn't like anything out there, he just comes right to the middle of the field. That receiver will work right into the line of his vision, and they just get a 6-7 yard pickup.
L.J. Smith, the tight end, had a shoulder injury, but he's playing today and in the lineup right now. And here is Westbrook, but the plane is blown dead. A false start penalty against the Philadelphia
Before
Eagles.
the ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 82. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And it's the aforementioned tight end L.J. Smith, so a 5-yard penalty. Our referee today is Ed Hockley, who was the referee in the last Super Bowl in Houston. Good ball control for the Eagles since the start of this game. Freddie Mitchell and Greg Lewis have come in as extra wide receivers for Philadelphia. First down and 15. And McNabb getting rushed for the first time and being chased and being dropped by Alex Brown. So the crowd alive for the first time since the Bears were introduced, and a loss of 9 yards on the sack.
Good pursuit by Alex Brown, but it all started with the push in the middle. They collapsed the pocket. Watch the big tackles. 91, Tommy Harris, and Ian Scott, 95. They get up there. They collapse that pocket. Donovan forced to scramble to his right. Now, that's the one thing you don't want to let happen. He's right-handed. If you're going to force him to scramble, force him to his left. But Alex Brown, a good hustle play to get that sack.
So the penalty and the sack puts the Eagles in a 2nd down and 24 situation. And the ball backed up to the Bears 34. Terrell Owens coming out to the left, single covered by McQuarters, and looking his way, going up the middle to Smith, who drops the pass in the end zone. L.J. Smith had the touchdown in his hands and lost it, bringing up a 3rd and long. And they haven't had many drop passes this year, Darryl.
They have not. That is one of the things that they have done a very good job. Some critical drops last year, but this season, everybody getting into it. L.J. Smith, that would have been a nice catch, but we've seen him make that catch already this season. And there is the aggressive play calling of Brad Childress in this Eagles offense. It's 2nd and 24. I'm expecting them to maybe get a little bit of that back. Let's find something that gets us 10, 12 yards and gives us a more manageable shot on 3rd down. The Eagles offense, they're going for the whole thing. They take a shot into the end zone.
The Eagles have to get to the 10-yard line, and a timeout called by Donovan McNabb, and this crowd cheering as the Eagles coming all the way down the field, and then a penalty, a sack, and a drop pass. Timeout by Philadelphia. We'll be right back.
Sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
Philadelphia Eagles off to their best start in 11 years when they won their first 4 games back in the '93 campaign, looking for win number 4 today. That's what they've got to do. 3rd down and 24, and going against their 3rd straight team from the NFC North. They line up with 2 tight ends in a tight formation. Play action, and here comes the rush, and McNabb is tackled back at the 40. So this could very well take the Eagles out of field goal range, and it will. They were in field goal range for Akers, but a loss of 6 yards. Brian Urlacher cheering his team on the sidelines, and a punting situation.
And it all started with that penalty on the Philadelphia Eagles for illegal procedure, but the defensive line of the Chicago Bears right now doing a great job of getting penetration, especially into the face.
Offense, number 82, was covered by another player on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
So Andy Reid has seen L.J. Smith commit a penalty, drop a pass, and this penalty is declined. Lovie Smith looking for his first victory at home. His 1 win, a very impressive one at Green Bay, where the Bears had not won in years. And now will get their chance. That's Bernard Berrien, the rookie from Fresno State, and Dirk Johnson with the punt. Fielded at the 8-yard line. Berrien, and 2 flags are thrown, and Berrien goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
You're going to have an illegal block in the back on the Chicago Bears.
Rule always there. If you're chasing a guy, you're going to be called for the illegal block.
You got another flag on the sideline, guys. Also, it might be offsides.
Ed Hockley and his crew. And right now, Dirk Johnson staying on the field. And right now, you have the defensive unit coming on for the Eagles.
You got a hat off, so somebody went out of bounds. That's why the one official has his hat off. When a guy goes out of bounds, he's going to throw his hat to mark that spot.
Quite a conversation going on here, guys. I don't know if they're talking about the play or...
Can you eavesdrop, Tony? Actually, 3 penalties.
There's a lot of stuff going on in that play.
2 against the Bears and 1 against the Eagles. Be a good time for Ed to turn his mic on down there.
Even Lovey needs to know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's going to bring him back and make him kick it again.
And the defensive unit come on for the Eagles.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Illegal formation by the offense, number 57. Was also holding by the receiving team, number 93. It was also an illegal block in the back, number 45. The penalty's offset. Will replay 4th down. Correction, it was 25, the block in the back.
Oh, who's counting?
There's a lot to sort out. We'll let him go on that one.
Andy Reid, who has seen his team win its first 3 games, and just trying to keep everything cool. He knows that everything has worked so well for him. There's not much to improve upon, except perhaps the defense, as you mentioned early. Here is the punt, and McQuarters will let it drop, and the Eagles are going to try to down it, and they can't.
Wow.
Well, right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are misfiring on many places, and they could not down the ball. Jeremiah Trotter couldn't do so. It's a touchback for Chicago.
As fresh beer tastes better.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bears at the 20, but it should be 1st and 10 at the 8. R.W. McQuarters has to make that catch. Now, he's very lucky right here. Poor play by the Eagles special teams, who have been outstanding all season long. It should be 1st and 10 at the 1-yard line. The Bears dodge a big bullet right there, gain some valuable field position.
For the 6'6" quarterback, Jonathan Quinn, and his first pass is thrown behind tight end Dustin Lyman. So with Rex Grossman, who really the Bears felt they were picking up a lot of momentum with his style of play, out for the season, Jonathan Quinn makes his 4th career start and his first since 2001 with Jacksonville. And as Darryl mentioned at the outset, has been with Kansas City the last 2 years and knows Terry Shea's offense.
He really does, and that gives him an advantage, but he's got to come out here and prove it. As you saw right there, not a whole lot of starts in his NFL career.
And Dustin Lyman, the tight end, and you can see Max protect against a blitzing offense, and the handoff to Thomas Jones. And this has been a very effective running team, 4th in the NFL in rushing for the Chicago Bears.
And the Bears' offensive line is going to be the most important group on the field. When you're a young quarterback early on in your career, you need to be able to run the ball well, and they have to protect against this tough Eagles defense.
You know, guys, in the warm-up, I did see Javon Curse both lining up in a right and a left-handed stance. I'm going to try and keep an eye on him because I think he's going to try and go against both Tate and Mitchell today.
And you saw Thomas Jones leading the team not only in rushing, but in receiving and total yards. 3rd down and 7 for Quinn out of the shotgun, and the pass is thrown behind Bernard Berrien. So a lackluster opening series for the new quarterback of the Bears, who comes off the field. Chicago will kick.
Still looking for his first completion this season. He came in on that last series against Minnesota last week and had 3 incompletes, and has 2 in his first series here. So the one thing about Jonathan Quinn is he's got a big arm. He knows the system, but they think he has a tendency to overanalyze what's happening in front of him. He has great vision down the field, but sometimes he overthinks and he just doesn't turn the ball loose.
A big guy with a big arm, Darryl, is Brad Maynard punting for the first time. Reno Mahe at the 30-yard line sidesteps one defender and is dropped at the 35-yard line. So each team has had the ball once. Donovan McNabb comes back on, no score, 8:35 remaining in the first. The Eagles and the Bears are scoreless. The Eagles have won the last 4 meetings between these teams, including a victory in the 2001 divisional playoff. Eagles' second possession will start from the 36-yard line. And another penalty. And Josh Parry.
False start, offense, number 49. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Who's replaced John Ritchie, who is injured and out for the year at fullback, guilty of the false start.
Well, for the Chicago Bears to really have an opportunity to win this game today, Philadelphia has to help them. Last week against Detroit, we talked about the same things. They didn't do anything to help Detroit. So far at this early juncture of the game, we've had 2 critical penalties and an opportunity to down the ball at the 1. They have missed those things.
Brian Westbrook, hard runner, and Westbrook on first down, tackled by Briggs after a pickup of 2. Well, this morning it was Raven star Ray Lewis, and now it's your chance to tell us who you want to see go 10 yards with TB on next week's pregame show. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and choose from Joe Gibbs, Mike Martz, Dick Vermeil, and Jim Moore. Then tune in later today to see who was selected.
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict Joe Gibbs.
I think Mike Martz in a surprise. 2nd and 13. And Westbrook following the block of Josh Parry, turning the corner, nothing there, and the flag thrown, and another one. So we have not just had one yellow flag thrown on plays, we've had multiple tosses. Ogunleye with good pursuit to get Westbrook, who had a 3-yard game pending the call.
Well, everybody doing their job, maintaining their gap, forcing Brian Westbrook to bounce
Personal
outside.
foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see right here, number 93, Adewale Ogunleye, gets a handful of that. Now that's a penalty that your coaches can live with. That's an aggressive play. It's part of the game. It happens sometime. I don't agree with the 15-yarder. I thought it was the 5-yarder. He didn't jerk. It was just the flow of the game. I think that should have been a 5-yard face mask. But that's the way the game goes. But right now, the Bears defense is doing a good job. They are maintaining their gaps. They're filling everything. They're forcing Westbrook to the outside when he runs.
And it's reflected in the last 5 plays, which has been good for minus yardage. So first down now at midfield for Philadelphia. Here is McNabb, and he has an open Westbrook. And Brian Westbrook, who's been a workhorse to start this game, getting 5 yards before he's dropped by the rookie Nathan Vasher.
And what we're seeing right now is that game plan that Lovie Smith has put in place with Ron Rivera. They're not going to let anybody get over the top. They're going to force the Philadelphia Eagles to throw the ball underneath. They're going to rally up and tackle the wide receivers or the running backs and try and limit them. They're going to force them to go the long distance because they feel that the Philadelphia Eagles will commit penalties, which they have been doing up until this point.
2nd and 5. Eagles spreading the defense, and very tough when they run under this circumstance, and they do to Dorsey Levens. And this is what the Bears were fearful of, the running with the wide outs of 3 wide receivers running up the middle, and Dorsey Levens gets 7 yards for the first down. Dexter Wynn, who plays on special teams for the Eagles, out with a hamstring pull, doubtful for his return.
When you talk to the Bears, their concern is getting that offense spread out, and all of a sudden you've got more defined running lanes. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. They actually were hoping that the Philadelphia Eagles would come out and throw the ball, which was surprising for me to hear because of the injuries in the secondary.
There's Levens, and he nearly breaks a tackle and dives forward to the 36 before Michael Haynes, the defensive end, makes the stop, a 2-yard pickup. As the clock nears 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Dick Stockton, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa on the field on what has been one of the chillier days so far in Chicago, and the wind, which is favoring the direction the Eagles are going in. 2nd down and 8. Levens remains in as the tailback. Goes out as a pass receiver and makes a tough catch, but is tackled short of the first down by about 4 yards by linebacker Lance Briggs.
All the receivers going down the field on that situation, all covered by the Chicago defense. They are executing this game plan very well. They're going to allow the receivers underneath the running backs and the tight end to catch the ball. Up until this point, you have to be impressed with what Lovie Smith and the Chicago defense has done, because as we have seen a number of times this year, this offense is a very quick start and they're very explosive, and they're going to force them to go the long distance.
6th in the NFL on 3rd downs. They need 4 yards from the Philadelphia Eagles. And McNabb getting a late rush, and the pass intended for Freddie Mitchell, incomplete. And it was Mike Green on the defense, but McNabb had to get rid of it in a hurry with the rush coming down on him.
And they're getting the pressure with just their 4 defensive linemen. They're able to make Donovan McNabb uncomfortable. Right there, what a nice rush by Michael Hainsworth. He gets John Runyon upfield, comes down underneath. He's not able to have that sense of being comfortable in the pocket. They're not getting hits on him, but they are starting to hurry him.
51-yard attempt for Akers, who is 6 for 7 on the year, and perfect last week. And he's got the wind at his back. David Akers, and this kick is good, and the Eagles take a 3-0 lead. 51-yard field goal. Philadelphia jumps in front. Lost both of their games by a combined 9 points, trailing 3-0 on Akers' 51-yard field goal.
Some good music down here, Dick.
Can you dance to it, Tony?
I can dance to anything, as you know.
I sure do. Jason McKee is back along with Bernard Berrien. Berrien is the deep man for the Chicago Bears as Akers kicks off. And Berrien going back about 4 yards in the end zone, and he will keep it there for the touchback. And we'll take another break with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The key is, can the Bears do anything on offense? Darryl, the Bears have done a fairly good job defensively so far, limiting to Philadelphia to just 3 points on 2 possessions. But the big question comes now with Quinn, who looked a little shaky in the passing department in the first series.
Yeah, he really did. They've got to get something done offensively, and just the 2 incompletions and 2 yards rushing. I was surprised to see that play calling. I know you want to get your quarterback comfortable, give him maybe some easy completions early in the game, but the strength of this offense all season long up until this point has been the offensive line and getting Thomas Jones on track. And that's a quarterback's best friend when he's just starting the NFL, a sound running game.
First down at the 20 for the Bears. And a lot of shifting going on for them. In motion is Bobby Wade, and the handoff to Jones, and a good run by Jones. Javon Kearse making the play after a gain of 5 yards. Thomas Jones, and what a find he has been after playing with Arizona and Tampa Bay the last 2 seasons. When the Eagles have scored in the first quarter, they have not lost, so they have that going for them. 2nd and 5 on the 25.
Which is nice.
They've got a lot of things going for them, including this team. And there is the handoff again to Jones. First down. See where they spot the ball. It'll be very close. So the last 2 plays, Darryl, the Bears are going into a possible end-around situation and giving the ball to their running back.
Well, if there is one weakness on this Philadelphia defense, it is their run defense, and it has been a question for a while. And you know, that's what the Bears have to do. That is their strength. And Thomas Jones has been a great addition to this Bears offense. And sometimes it's just a question of a guy fitting into a system the right way. And he didn't do it a lot in Arizona. He had a limited success down in Tampa Bay. But Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator, he had his eye on Thomas Jones for a while. And I think he fits their scheme perfectly. It's what Priest Holmes did in Kansas City. He's very athletic. He's a good pass catcher. He does all the things necessary for a running back in this offense.
And here is Quinn, and this is an end around to Bobby Wade. So after a couple of fakes, Bobby Wade on the end around gets smashed after spinning his way to the 39-yard line, and it was Hollis Thomas who makes the play, and a flag is down.
There's Hollis Thomas right there. He's going to be the guy that chases it.
Number 84 and 83 were both moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
In Canada, this would have been a great play.
But you would have had an extra guy in the field, too.
That's true.
But Jonathan Quinn, he does a good job just getting in the way of Michael Lewis, there, number 32, who is in to make the play on the reverse. But some of the things, you can't have any of these, obviously, ever. But when you've got a young quarterback, you just can't have these types of mistakes to take away positive yardage. You just built a little bit of momentum. You've got to keep it going. Now you force him into situations where he has to throw, and you don't want to be in those situations against this Eagles defense. 1st
and 15. They don't have to get all of it back. They have the trips, as they say, 3 wide receivers to the right, and Thomas Jones will be tackled for the loss. So after the fake to one of the receivers, a loss of 3, Derek Burgess, who has not played the last 2 years, and the Eagles have always liked his pass rushing abilities, grabs Jones, and that'll be 2nd down and even longer.
Well, we've talked about the impact that Terrell Owens has had on the offensive side of the ball, but Javon Kearse, I think the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. All the other guys now are able to step up and make some plays because everybody's looking for number 93 on the defense. All of a sudden, you've got Derek Burgess and Corey Simon, some guys being able to be single block.
You see Javon Kearse on the line of scrimmage, and there is the first completion for Quinn, and the ball caught at the 36 by David Terrell, short of the first down by 4 yards. And right now, for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, the New York Giants were poised to score on 3rd and goal. Kurt Warner picked off by Darren Sharper. That is Kurt Warner's first pick of the season, and we're still at no score at Lambeau. Back to Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, thank you very much. So you saw Brett Favre come on the field to perform his magic for the Packers, who are 1-2. 3rd down and 4, and Quinn getting rid of it in a hurry, and off the hands of Jones. Incomplete, bringing up 4th down. Pass thrown a little high, and the Bears will have to punt. Nate Wayne was covering Jones out of the backfield.
And he almost got an interception on that tip ball. A little bit high for Thomas Jones, but Thomas Jones has got to make that catch. He's a very good receiver out of the backfield. That's a play designed specifically for him to get a one-on-one matchup with the linebacker. They got exactly what they wanted. They just got to finish the play.
Brad Maynard will kick. You saw number 34, Reno Mahe, go deep for the Eagles. Kicking against the wind, Mahe at the 16, and down he goes. good coverage by the Bears, and it was Todd McMillan making the big play. Well, it's unpredictable. It can never be scripted. Has provided us with some of sports' greatest moments. Tuesday, Fox Sports begins a month-long journey, starting with the Division Series, then brings you exclusive coverage of the Championship Series, and culminates with the World Series and the crowning of a champion. The drama begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Fox. It's going to be a great, exciting month, and we've had great exciting moments down the stretch of the regular season. Chicago fans licking their wounds after the Cubs were eliminated yesterday. First down on the 19 for Philadelphia, leading 3-0. And McNabb swings it out to Westbrook. Westbrook showing his speed, picking up the first down before it going out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
I'll tell you what, when Donovan McNabb, guys, doesn't have any pressure on him, he sits back in the pocket very calm. And if the guys are trying to read his eyes, but they're not getting a good read off of Donovan, he really is aware of where the ball should go if he doesn't have his first receiver wide open.
So many options, Moose.
Oh, unbelievable. And they put Lance Briggs in a difficult situation where he's got L.J. Smith breaking across his face, and then all of a sudden here comes Brian Westbrook swinging out on a wide flat pattern, and it's kind of like, okay, do I go back inside? Do I honor this? And you've got to honor Brian's speed on the outside.
And this time Westbrook going off the left side, bulls his way to the 45-yard line. Brian Westbrook, pound for pound, may be, and all respects to McNabb, the most valuable offensive player on this team, gets 13.
Well, he feels he's always got to prove himself. You know, he went to a small school at Villanova. He's an undersized guy, so everybody has always questioned his abilities. And you watch him this season, you know, even coming into it, you know, can he be the featured back? You know, Deuce Staley leaves, Correll Buckhalter is hurt. And I think he has silenced every critic. He has been outstanding all year long.
Gets a breather, and Dorsey Levens comes in and gets the call, but nothing doing. And no gain on the play. Tommy Harris making the play for the Bears, the #1 pick out of Oklahoma. He, along with Tank Johnson, who was their #2 pick, are now starting at defensive tackle.
I think Tommy Harris is going to be a special player, and I think he fits this scheme very well. He is an upfield penetrating tackle, very difficult to block, and that's the type of guy that you have to have in this defensive scheme. Lovie Smith bringing it from Tampa and St. Louis, working together with Ron Rivera. I think he's a perfect fit for what they do up front.
Bears starting 3 rookies on the defensive unit today. 2nd down and 10, and here's McNabb getting the pressure, but completes the pass to Terrell Owens, and he is tackled short of the first down, but gets into Chicago territory as the time runs out. Ogunleye makes the tackle, shy of the first down.
Here come your blitzers. There's your first one, and then here comes Hunter Miller. After that, Dorsey Levens does a good job, takes the outside guy, and it's a delayed one, so he gets number 92 right in his face. Donovan McNabb hangs in, delivers it for the completion.
That's the end of the first quarter. The Eagles lead the Bears 3-0, and Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages.
How do you...
Andy Reid and Lovie Smith, their respective coaches. A lot of people in Chicago impressed with Lovie Smith and the way he has approached the Bears, playing hard, and they have done that in this first quarter. They trail 3-0, and the big question will be, can the defense hold off the Eagles enough, and what can the offense achieve? It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 46 as we start the second quarter, and McNabb rolling out, and he's going to fire it, caught by Pinkston. And good concentration by Todd Pinkston after he bobbled the ball. Nathan Vasher covering, and a 9-yard pickup, the first down inside the Bears 40.
Well, they're trying to get Brian Westbrook isolated. He's going to come out and move here in motion and then get into his route. They've got Donovan McNabb rolling that way. The Bears do a great job of getting people right exactly on the down markers. You see right there, he's covered all the way. Look at Todd Pinkston work, and then the concentration right there. He knows he's going to take a hit. He knows he's in the middle of several Bear defenders, and that is what they are doing this year. They are making catches that they didn't last season. They're making plays.
On the 37 of the Bears, Eagles with a first down, and McNabb going up the middle out of the backfield. Reno Mahi with the catch to the 30, picking up 6. And for another game break, here's James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, for those asking what did Green Bay do with the pick of Kurt Warner, well, take a look at Ahman Green, looking like he's heading for pay dirt, but oh, no, he fumbles the ball, and now New York recovers. Hey, Dick, the bottom line is there's not much action happening right now, so we're doing the best we can. Back to you, Dick.
Oh, turnovers can always be handy, JB. Keep them coming. They changed direction, don't they? 2nd and 3, and McNabb on the slant completes to Terrell Owens. And a first down for the Eagles as they threaten inside the 20, picking up 12.
And we've got another blitz coming. There goes number 52 out to the outside, Marcus Reese. Here comes 32, Todd Johnson, and he gets stuck by Brian Westbrook. If you are going to leave your feet, you better be ready to be taken to your back. And this is another phase of the game that Brian Westbrook excels in, and that's how you stay on the field in those third down situations. Now, you've got to be able to do more than catch a football. You've got to be able to protect your quarterback, and that shows you how good Brian Westbrook is in that situation. 2nd in the league in red zone offense are the Eagles. They're on the Bears' 18. McNabb getting time, and he finds the receiver, Westbrook, and the running back hit hard at the 15-yard line by R.W. McQuarters after picking up a few. And now we see the other part of his game as being a complete player. He can get out there in those situations and make the difficult catch.
You know, guys, the one thing looking down here on the field is the defense is getting a little frustrated. They're running a lot of three-man games that are a real slow developing pass rush up front. But what the Eagles are doing that's frustrating the Bears is a lot of three-step, and the ball comes out really fast. So it's a good adjustment on the Eagles.
And this is a handoff to Westbrook. And Westbrook getting 1 yard off the right side. Michael Haynes, who's been an active player on the defensive line, making the stop, bringing up 3rd down. And a long 6. You saw that stat previously. The Eagles, no turnovers in the red zone. And that is one of the reasons they are having success. No penalties, no mistakes on their part. That's what the Bears have done in the red zone defensively this year. Owens to the top of your screen. 10th play of the drive. Westbrook goes in motion. Empty backfield, and the pass is thrown, caught by Freddie Mitchell, and a flag gets thrown as Mitchell is tackled. He did not get enough for the first down, but a flag thrown from across the field. Wow. Lance Briggs putting the pressure on McNabb, who got rid of it as he was going down, and this will go against
Pass
Philly.
Interference, offense, number 89, 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And the tight end Chad Lewis pushing off will cost the Eagles on this play. The Eagles are starting to do some things this afternoon that we haven't seen them do in their first 3 games. Chad Lewis here on a situation, he's right there at the bottom of your screen, getting a little bit of a shove to create that separation, and a great ad-lib play by Donovan McNabb. It shows you, I mean, if you get there, your work's only half done, because you've got to get him to the ground. He is such a big, strong guy in the pocket. The ability to make a throw like that with people hanging on him, I mean, you've got to finish it. Just because you're there doesn't mean that your job is over. And R.W. McQuarters getting the crowd into the act. 3rd and 16 on the 24. And McNabb under pressure, and the pass incomplete. The Bears getting good pressure up the middle on McNabb, trying to get it to Pinkston, and Chicago giving McNabb fits to an extent. 4th down coming up. Once again, the rookie Thomas Harris charging. Giving them a lot of different looks pre-snap, and seem to have the Eagles offense flustered right now. That time they walk up a bunch of the defenders into the gaps and show blitz, and then everybody pulls out. And the Eagles, they didn't have anything called. They didn't have a receiver beyond the sticks in that situation. David Akers with a 51-yarder in his pocket will try one from 42 yards. This one into the wind, but well within Akers' range. And Akers' kick is good, and the Eagles, who have been stymied in the red zone, have managed a couple of field goals, and that's been the story with 4 minutes gone by in the second.
And by Intel Centrino Mobile Technology.
Back here at Soldier Field, the Eagles now with a 6-0 lead. The scoring drive capped by another Akers field goal. McNabb 6 of 7. Eagles coming in all 3 of their victories by at least 10 points, and they have had the lead in each quarter in all 3 games. So you can't ask for more than that as Bernard Berrien gets set to return the kick by Akers, as the Bears try to muster something on the offensive side of the ball. They've got to do something. The defense is keeping them in this game at this time, and that was going to be the case for the Bears this year, even with Rex Grossman in the lineup. But they've got to do something offensively. Berrien running into his own man now, breaks out. and being chased by Reed. And J.R. Reed, who's got great speed, he's the kickoff returner for the Eagles, but a 24-yard return, flag upfield, thrown at the 40.
Well, that is a good play by J.R. Reed because Brent Berrien, he is going to get the corner on most guys, but J.R. Reed does his job. He stays as he comes downfield as the safety, keeps that runner on his inside shoulder, and as soon as he tries to break to the outside, he's got the speed to get him. He pulls him down inside the 20-yard line. A lot of times, you get that guy who comes into the mix, he sees the returner get up into that pile, thinks he's tackled. All of a sudden, he's lost his leverage.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the kicking team, number 52. The 15-yard penalty added to the end of the return. First down.
So Jason Short committing the personal foul, and that will give the Bears an advantage, moving it up 15 yards. We'll take a break. The Bears, after the personal foul penalty and only their second first down, won by penalty, will start from the 35-yard line. There you see the ball control story. The Eagles with nearly 11 minutes advantage in ball control, leading 6-0. First down, Wade, the wide receiver, going in motion. And here is Quinn going underneath. It's caught at the 40-yard line, picking up 5 yards to Desmond Clark, the tight end.
The Bears defense stealing a page from Jim Johnson and his Philadelphia Eagles defensive philosophy. It doesn't matter about yards and time of possession. They've gotten down in the red zone. They've been able to hold them to field goals, but a lot of this is due to the mistakes that the Philadelphia Eagles are making. For the first time this season, they seem a tad frustrated.
Well, he's been a champion, as you see in the World Bowl in Berlin 3 years ago. Thomas Jones, and you knew the Eagles were going to gang up on Jones, only loses 3 yards on that play. Hugh Douglas making the play, and Jim Johnson dialing up the blitzes, and many times so far this year, no blitzes, just putting the pressure on with Kearse and company.
Yeah, they've got the luxury this season of having a guy that gets pressure without having to bring the blitz in Javon Kearse, but you look at what he does, and when he's on the road, he likes to blitz. Now he's got a young, inexperienced quarterback. You know he's just going to kind of double that up on him. It's going to be a difficult day for Jonathan Quinn, but the offensive line has done a good job up until this point. He hasn't had that free blitzer hit him yet.
Third down and 8 from the 37. And the pass is tipped incomplete, and it was deflected by Ike Reese, the linebacker. Fourth down coming up. So Quinn, who's supposed to see over all those defenders at 6'6", couldn't see over Ike Reese on that one.
Well, that's just a good athletic play by Ike Reese right there. He got up in the air a little bit. He showed us some ups right there to get that ball knocked down.
Fourth down, and Brad Maynard will kick. Ike Reese, an Iron Man in his performance, stays on for special teams as Reno Mahe prepares to return the kick. It is a line drive kick. Mahe looking up into the sun. A flag goes down as the punt goes out of bounds. And the flag is thrown at the 28-yard line.
Going to be holding on the Eagles, so another mistake. You know, everything is sitting there for them. You know, the offense of the Bears is struggling, but
Holding.
Get out of the wind.
Holding by the receiving team, number 30, during the kick. 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the kick. First down.
J.R. Reed, who made the big play on Berrien, guilty here.
Here he comes in right there, gets a handful of jersey, actually pulls him down as he goes down, and the Eagles will be starting in backed up field position again.
I'm looking for someone who can do just about everything.
In special teams, they're making some mistakes out there.
And that's why they're backed up, starting from the 9-yard line. Their worst starting field position. Leading 6-0. Brian Westbrook. And Westbrook drives it out to the 9. R.W. McQuarters coming up from the secondary. No gain on the play, so as the Eagles are trying to keep Jones from getting anything today, that's what the Bears have done lately for Westbrook.
They really have. They've done a nice job, and they are taking away the cutback lanes, and that's what Lovie talked about when he said they have a sound system, and he feels he can plug players in. They're filling their gaps. They're maintaining it. They're not trying to do more than they're supposed to.
Second down and 10 from the 9. McNabb looking one way, throwing the other, and the pass is caught by Chad Lewis And Lewis may be short of the first down by a yard or so. And right now we want to tell you that today's game is being seen around the world on Armed Forces Television. And we want to send our best wishes to the men and women of the 86th Airlift Wing at the Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Glad you're watching. And thank you for everything.
Yes, from everybody back home.
Absolutely.
3rd and 1 for the Eagles with under 8.5 remaining in the first half. And McNabb getting some time and going for the fade, and the pass is out of bounds, caught by Westbrook, but he was out of bounds at the time. 4th down coming up, and the Chicago defense forces the punt.
Well, you get that matchup you want. He's going to be on number 32, Todd Johnson, and they've got him on a wheel and go on the outside. He does a good job of staying with him. You see the catch out of bounds right there. Now, they had to do that because they had Terrell Owens going down the middle of the field. The safety has to respect that. Lovie Smith does not want anybody getting over the top.
Only had 1 foot in bounds and a wobbly kick and a fair catch, and it's muffed by R.W. McQuarters and a loose ball, and the Eagles recover. So it's the Bears who make a critical mistake. And the first turnover of the game, and after backing up the vaunted Eagle offense, Philadelphia gets it back in Chicago territory.
R.W. McQuarters coming up. He's got to pull off on that. He knows that his guy on the outside who's playing that spot, blocking the forcer for him, he's worried about the block. It's up to R.W. McQuarters, who's watching the flight of the ball and the path of the players, to bail out in that situation. Nathan Vassar is doing his job, trying to protect him, to block to the outside, but he's got to either give a short call, he's got to give him some type of call, but it's up to him to make sure that there's not a collision.
And it was Dhani Jones who recovered it. Nathan Vassar, the rookie, playing today, and Jones with a key recovery. And so the Eagles keep possession and will be on the Bears' 47-yard line with a big opportunity here. That's the last thing the Bears needed in a game like this, especially keeping it so close as they have midway through the second quarter. And the end around and the double reverse to Greg Lewis, and the former Chicago high school star still on his feet, and he gets a first down inside the 40, close to the 35. An 11-yard pickup. Ogunleye making the tackle as Lewis returns home after being an undrafted rookie at the University of Illinois.
Well, we saw the aggressive play last week. After a turnover, they have a 29-yard touchdown pass to Terrell Owens. This week, they go with the double reverse after they get good field position on a turnover. So, again, we're seeing that aggressive style of play calling from this Eagles offense.
So there you see the pass 70%, the rush nearly 30% on first down. And on first down, they'll run the ball to Brian Westbrook. Westbrook, breaking a couple of tackles, picks up nearly 9 yards on first down. Philadelphia trying to take quick advantage of that miscue by the Bears. So far, only 2 field goals by David Akers in a 6-0 game.
And you've frustrated this Eagles offense up until this point, and all of a sudden you give them a break. It'll be, this will show me a lot about this team. If they've gotten off to a slow start and they're not playing well, when they get that opportunity from the Bears, if they can take it down the field right now and get a touchdown, that says a lot about this Eagles team. They can find a way, even when they're not playing their best. They're very opportunistic.
2nd and 2, and a team that likes to pass a lot, gaining nearly 5 yards a rush. Pump fake, McNabb, Westbrook. First down, flag down. Tackle at the 21-yard line, and Ogunleye putting the pressure on, and not happy
foul,
with this.
Roughing the passer, defense. Unnecessary steps. The quarterback is throwing the ball 15 yards, first down.
So Ogunleye with a face mask penalty, and now roughing the passer.
He's coming from the inside right there. Boy, that's touchy. You know, Donovan he's kind of moving to get that ball thrown out. I don't think it was necessary steps. I think it was quicker than that.
Touchy. That was a bad call.
Not a good call
on his part. You
Ogunleye,
can't stop. Once you got the guy in your grasp, you can't stop. You got to go. You can't. Your head can't be on the ball. You don't know if he got rid of it or what. You got to go and finish the play.
And the big thing that tells you it might have been, just the fact that Donovan's got to adjust. So that means that Adewale Ogunleye is in his face. You know, he's got to make an adjustment on that throw. So that goes to show you that even Donovan felt he was that close to him.
Hey, you got to play the game of football. First down at the 11-yard line. McNabb's pass, and it is caught by Terrell Owens for the touchdown, doing a few sit-ups after the catch. His 6th touchdown reception of the year, and the Eagles open up a 12-0 lead, taking advantage of that turnover, the muff on the punt.
He sure knows how to make friends on the road, doesn't he?
Get the fans on your side, right?
He did it with the Lions last week. They all loved him after his touchdown catches.
You know,
the same thing going in
Chicago. They talk about taking the crowd out of the game. He gets the crowd back in the game for the Bears.
Yeah, they're not happy here in the end zone throwing stuff. I'm dodging stuff.
You're nifty enough to do it.
Thank you very much.
David Akers with the extra point. And the kick by Akers is good, and the Eagles taking a 13-0 lead. Bears playing better than that, but Terrell Owens for the touchdown did a sit-up for every touchdown pass he's caught, 6 in all. Well, when he gets up to 200, he's going to be very tired. And of course, Donovan McNabb now with 9 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Kickoff, Bernard Berrien. And Berrien brings it out straight ahead to the 28-yard line. Well, next week it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. It all begins with America's #1 pregame show, and then Kurt Warner and the Giants will be in Dallas to take on Bill Parcells' Cowboys, followed by an NFC West matchup as Marshall Faulk and the Rams travel to Seattle to play the Seahawks, plus other regional action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox, presented in Fox Sports High Definition. See how the Bears respond, Darrell, after that downer of the turnover and touchdown, starting at the 29-yard line. And it's Quinn overthrowing tight end Justin Lyman. And right now, for a game break, let's go back to Los Angeles and James Brown.
Hey, Dick, Washington trying to bounce back from the Monday night loss, capping a 12-play, 78-yard drive. Clinton Portis with the 1-yard TD run, no fumbles on the play. They're up 10-3. Dick, it is so nice to show you a legitimate play. Back to Dick Stockton.
Yeah, Darrell, we love to see scores, don't we?
That's a good game break. Now they're getting into the flow of it.
Sooner or later, those guys really turn it on. I love it. 2nd and 10 from the 29. And the handoff, Thomas Jones. And Jones is unable to get started today. 1 yard on the play for Thomas Jones, who has been stymied by the Eagle defense so far. 6 carries and only 7 yards.
That's one of the things that this offense has to do to help Jonathan Quinn. They've got to run the ball effectively. It's one of the best matchups that they have against the Philadelphia Eagle defense. And you talked about them not being opportunistic. Just look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did last drive. They get the turnover, they get a big penalty from the roughing the passer, and they're able to go in and get the touchdown.
Out of the shotgun, 3rd and 9, and this one dropped by Wade. Wade had beaten the defensive tackle Darwin Walker.
It just looked like Quinn was rushing that pass, guys. He never got set, never even saw his receiver, it looks like, from the end zone, standing about 40 yards behind him.
They have just not been able to get on track. In that situation, the running game, I just feel like they need to get more focus on the running game. Right now, Jonathan Quinn just 2 of 8 for 19 yards. They've got to start leading on Thomas Jones. He's their playmaker in the offense.
They're going to have to hit some passes, though, to get Jones some running room. And Reno Mahe returning to the 30-yard line with 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Bears playing very well early, but the crowd and the team may be a bit deflated right now by that turnover and the score by the Eagles, and of course the questionable roughing the passer penalty as well. We have another flag here.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 82. That penalty is enforced 10 yards from the end of the kick. Philadelphia keeps the ball, 1st down.
L.J. Smith is having a tough day. That is his 3rd penalty already. He had 1 in the red zone that took away an opportunity for points early in the game. They had to settle for a field goal after some sacks, but the Philadelphia team, they're continuing to make mistakes.
And of course, he dropped a touchdown pass as well, so it hasn't been his day. It's unpredictable, can't be scripted, and it has provided us with some of sports' greatest moments. Tuesday, Fox Sports begins a month-long journey starting with the Division Series. then bringing you exclusive coverage of the Championship Series, culminating with the World Series and the crowning of a champion. It'll be a new champion. The drama begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Fox. McNabb with a gaudy passer rating thus far, 15 of 19, 20th attempt, and going up on top, and it's caught by Terrell Owens. And a first down. What great touch by McNabb. And into Bears territory, picking up 44.
That is the scary thing about this offense. They have squandered some opportunities. They've struggled in the red zone. They get a couple field goals, but they take advantage of the fumble. They get the touchdown. They have a penalty off this one. The one thing that Lovie Smith said they were not going to allow happen was to anybody get beyond them. There you see what a physical receiver can do in the NFL. Terrell Owens is able to just fight right through that jam by R.W. McQuarters. You see the smile on his face right there. They've got two vertical routes. The safety's got it. He's in the middle of the field. There's nothing he can do.
And on first down from the 44, and the pass caught for another first down, this time by Freddie Mitchell. So many different receivers Donovan McNabb can go to here as Green and McQuarters make the tackle. Interesting that the Bears are content with single coverage on Terrell Owens with R.W. McQuarters.
Well, they're going to have some situations where it'll appear he's one-on-one, but he should have help over the top. He should have help underneath. They're not going to put R.W. McQuarters out on an island against Terrell Owens. But I tell you, that last series, when they got that turnover, was a huge wake-up call for the Eagles, because this is a much more disciplined team right now than the one that took the field.
And McNabb getting the rush, flips one to Westbrook, diving inside the 30-yard line, and a gain of 4 yards on the play. Hunter Hillenmeyer making the tackle. Hillenmeyer, of course, starting at linebacker once again for the injured Brian Urlacher, who might have been able to go, but they're going to wait till after the bye week. But keep in mind, Hillenmeyer has been in there since the first practice of camp and all of preseason. There is Urlacher on the sideline. So he may be inexperienced during the season, but he's seen a lot of action early in the year because of that injury. 2nd and 7, Westbrook off the left side, cutting upfield and close to the first down. Hillenmeyer with the tackle.
Brian Urlacher is going to be on the sideline. He's going to be his eyes on the field. So any questions that Hunter Hillenmeyer will have when he comes off the field, Brian's going to be there to answer those. And he has been very effective. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that he was able to get all those reps. But I agree with the decision of the Bears staff to sit Brian Urlacher down today. You've got your bye week next week. He tweaked it in practice a couple weeks ago. It just has never come back to 100% since training camp. You've got to have him for the entire season.
Dorsey Levens into the game at running back, 3rd down and 2, gets the call and doesn't make it. Stopped by Lance Briggs, the outside linebacker, who plays a very important role on this Bears defense.
Well, that was the great thing about having Brian Urlacher in that defense, along with Lance Briggs, because the will linebacker, which is the position that Lance plays, is kind of the playmaker in this offense. Sometimes in that cover 2, Brian Urlacher's got to turn his back and run down the middle of the field, but to have two guys like that, I think is such a huge plus for Lovie Smith, because I don't think he ever had a guy with the talent that Brian Urlacher has at that middle linebacker position in his scheme.
Akers with a 42-yard attempt. He is 2 for 2 this afternoon. With just about 2 minutes remaining in the first half, the kick is good, and the Eagles stretch their lead down to 16-0. Akers with his 3rd field goal of the game, and the 2-minute warning here with just under 2 minutes to play. $16-0 in favor of the Eagles. Akers with a 42-yard field goal, so he's had a pair from 42 and one from 51. 7 field goals in the last 6 quarters against the Chicago Bears. 16-0. And the big question for the Bears is, will they put up some numbers on the board themselves? Bernard Berrien, 3rd-round draft pick from Fresno State. Akers kicking off. Right, about a yard in the end zone. Berrien returns for the Bears. Looking to give Chicago good field position, and he's going to do that, provided there's no flags, and he is down. No penalty, gets it up to the 34-yard line. Donovan McNabb, of course, the native of Chicago, and every time he comes here, his mom, Wilma, has a spread you wouldn't believe. She's a great cook, and when there's food, there's the goose, Tony Siragusa.
All right, now maybe you can go over everything that we got here. All right. Because if it ain't spaghetti, I don't know much about it. Thank you, man.
And the pass on first down caught by David Terrell, his first catch of the game, and the Bears with a 12-yard gain and a hurry-up offense. But we got time for Tony to tell us how good was the food.
It was really good, man. That chicken, the beans, all that stuff was unbelievable.
This pass again caught by David Terrell. Maybe David Terrell got in to have sample some of that stuff, picking up 8 yards.
You know, it's interesting to see a young quarterback who has struggled the entire half. All of a sudden, he gets into that 2-minute situation, and he's not thinking about the plays that are coming in. He just has to react and adjust to what's moving on the fly. And maybe this is something that will boost Jonathan Quinn's confidence as his first half ends, because he's playing much more composed and seems much more comfortable in the pocket in the 2-minute situation than he has all half.
He is, Darryl. He's completed 2 in a row after completing only 2 up to that point. Second down, 4. And there is Quinn, and the pass is dropped. Flag down, Justin Gage. And pass is incomplete, but we're going to have a holding penalty called.
Before the pass was thrown, holding, defense, number 26.
It'll be a first down.
A 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Cornerback Lito Shepherd.
One of the things that the coaches talk about Jonathan Quinn is he tries to guide the ball. You know, sometimes he just overanalyzes things. He sees the field very well. Terry Shea, the offensive coordinator, but watch right here. It's like he's guiding the ball in there. He's got to turn it loose. He's got to get to the point where he's comfortable, go through his progressions. That's going to tell him where he needs to go with the ball, and then just let it go. I think sometimes he's trying to be too methodical and thinking too much in the pocket.
Yeah, he aims the ball and really not instinctive. Here is the draw play to Thomas Jones, his best run by far, as he wends his way for a first down over the 33-yard line. Michael Lewis on the tackle, an 11-yard pickup, the best running play of the day for the Bears.
It's just unusual to see a team that struggled the entire half. They get into this hurry-up situation, and not only the quarterback, but the offensive line and the running back, all playing the best they have all half.
And here's the pass thrown underneath to Jones, and the Bears have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. They get to the 25-yard line and now will use their first with 54 seconds on the clock. So this is the best the Bears offenses look as they try to get on the scoreboard. 54 seconds remaining in the half. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Second down and 2 on the Eagle 25, again out of the shotgun. And there's the pass, and it's caught for the first down to David Terrell. And the clock continues to run, and it's a hurry-up time for Chicago's offense. So they're saving those 2 timeouts. The ball is at the 22-yard line, and Quinn completes it to Bobby Wade, who goes out of bounds and stops the clock at 33 seconds. And the Bears on the Eagles' 20.
You know what, Moose, you're exactly right. I was watching, listening to what you said about Quinn. He's not even thinking back there. He's very comfortable in the shotgun, and he's just reacting. He's throwing the ball a lot better than he did earlier in the game.
Yeah, if I'm Lovie Smith and Terry Shea, we come out for the second half, I'm jumping into the hurry-up to start the half.
And I wonder why Javon Curse is not in there right now, as they have Hugh Douglas in there. They spread the offense, and there is Quinn with time, and his pass overthrown, trying to go to Berrien. Crowd looking for a flag, none coming. With 29 seconds to go, and now we're looking at third down.
Now we got to look at it from the other side. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles, the one thing that Andy Reid has talked about is finishing games. They've had some big plays on them in the fourth quarter. Right now they've got to finish the half, and it's an unusual situation for these guys to be in. They are always playing with big leads, and you can have that kind of that exhale where you take a little bit easy. You take it a little bit easy off the what you've been doing the entire half, and you're seeing that right now from this Eagles defense.
Third down and 8. And Quinn's pass caught by Wade inside the 10, first down to about the 6-yard line, and the Bears call their second timeout. A big third down completion by Jonathan Quinn. 22 seconds remain in the half, and the Bears are knocking on the door. But on this drive,
Yeah, as Tony's talking about this, they're very comfortable, but now they've gotten down into the red zone, and this is an area of the field where they have really struggled, and it's because of the things that they're doing. You see the penalties and the turnovers. It's going to be huge for them. Not 3 points. They have got to get 7 points right here.
And Javon Kearse back in the lineup for the Eagles. First and goal at the 7-yard line, and Jonathan Quinn into the end zone, knocked away. Good defensive play that time. And it was the pass intended for Desmond Clark. And Ike Reese, I believe, was there.
That is a good play because that's a double move by Desmond Clark. Ike Reese bites on the outcut, but has the athletic ability. He gets in, but Desmond Clark should have made that catch. That was thrown in a good spot by Jonathan Quinn. He's looking around for some help from the officials, but Desmond Clark needs to make that catch. He's got to step up and make that play.
Eagles red zone defense, 6 scoreless possessions, second and goal at the 7-yard line, and there is the pump fake and the fade, and nearly intercepted, and it looked like Berrien had prevented Lito Shepherd from picking it off in the end zone.
And that's going to be such a difficult pass for Jonathan Quinn because a fade route is based on familiarity between the wide receiver and the quarterback. And as a backup quarterback, you don't get time to establish that chemistry with your wide receiver. And Bernard Berrien just needs a little bit more time with Jonathan Quinn. He needed to throw that on the back shoulder and allow him to come back and play it there. He tried to get it out too far in front. Lucky that they didn't have an interception.
Well, you saw the graphic third down conversions, only 1, and that was recently on a 3rd down and 8. And Quinn was able to convert that one. The Eagles called the timeout in this instance with 14 seconds remaining, trying to keep the Bears out. Lights and up to the second. Scores and stats on our Fox Sports ticker. Well, this is a big one coming up. Don't know what Lovie Smith has in mind in case they do not score here, whether they go for the 3 or get the touchdown attempt. Third and goal at the 7.
They've got one more timeout left, so they can use the entire field. They can throw the ball into the middle and not have to worry about the clock running out.
And Desmond Clark, the tight end, lining up wide to the right. They swing it out, and it's incomplete to Jones. He would not have scored even had he caught the ball. So now it's 4th down, 10 seconds to go, and they're going to get on the board to try with 3.
Boy, they look so good coming down the field when they were just in that hurry-up situation. You get those timeouts, and now he's over to the sideline again, and they're giving him the play, and he's thinking about it as he's going onto the field. I just think in this first half, Jonathan Quinn has played much better when he's had to go off of his instincts in that hurry-up situation as opposed to having time to think about the play.
Paul Edinger, who is 3 of 6 so far this year. This will be a 25-yard attempt in the unorthodox style that he has. Kick is good, and the Bears finally score with 6 seconds on the clock. It is now 16-3 in favor of the Eagles. Well, a picture is worth 1,000 yards. Sports photography of Walter Payton at the Lake County Discovery Museum, presented by the Walter and Connie Payton Foundation, opens Saturday, and it'll last through June 19th, 2005. Pro sports photographers share their best images of Walter on and off the field for the exhibit. And what better guy to pay homage to than the greatest?
I think it's worth more than 1,000 yards. It's worth about 16,000, yes. What is that, 16,724?
It is. There's an Urlacher wannabe with a football in the stands, collecting the extra point or the field goal by Edinger. 6 seconds remaining, so the Bears go 60 yards in 12 plays and could not score, but that's nothing unusual. The Eagles do not allow a lot of people scoring touchdowns in that red zone.
No, but you know that Andy Reid's not going to be happy with the way his defense played on that drive down the field, because he's worried about them finishing games, and that's the half. And they get out to a lead. They've gotten back into this. They're starting to play well, and all of a sudden there's a potential for the Bears to get right back in it.
J.R. Reed on the return and is tackled as time runs out. Well, the Eagles getting a big break by the muff by R.W. McQuarters on the punt. allowing them to score their first touchdown. Terrell Owens with his 6th TD catch of the year. David Akers 3 field goals. It's 16-3 right now, but the Bears have to feel they are in the game, Moose.
Yeah, that series of plays really jump-started the Eagles' offense because they had been struggling. Chicago was doing a nice job, and all of a sudden they get that turnover, go right down the field, get a touchdown, come back and get another field goal.
Tony, your view.
That turnover was a big pivot, was a big turning point. The Eagles, they came out slow, which we haven't seen since we had them, and we've had them a lot lately. They just got to come back, regroup. They're going to go in there at halftime. Andy will give them a nice pep talk, and they'll come out and be the Eagles that you've seen before.
And that is the end of the first half with the score, the Eagles 16 and the Bears 3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue with the Visa halftime report after these messages and a word from your local Fox station.
Injured secondary of Chicago.
Well, it's obvious. They've come out and they've thrown the ball to Philadelphia Eagles 22 times in the first half. Now, obviously, some of that is off of turnover, and Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens are taking full advantage of that depleted secondary. There's 11 holes in the dike, and they have 10 figures. Chicago plays hard, Jimmy, but they just don't have enough bodies. This Philadelphia team is a juggernaut.
Yeah, and like you say, Lovie Smith's got Chicago playing hard, but when you're as poor offensively as what Chicago is right now, it's just a plaything for Philadelphia. And who knows who's going to slow Philadelphia down. They haven't been slowed down yet. Next week they play Carolina. Carolina comes to town, so that'll be a big ball game.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah. I said it, Philadelphia's
I think once again
turn
turn to my camera, number 4, and say this to our viewers out there. These guys do not want.
That's not 4, that's 3.
That's 3. That's 4. See,
That's
4.
Here.
And besides that, here's another thing.
Hit him again, Howie.
JB, 2 things you got to stop now.
Okay.
No more nursing a 4-point lead and spanking. You got to drop those 2 words. Nursing and spanking. You're a Harvard grad.
Can I get an
no
amen?
more nursing and spanking. Right now, the Eagles are spanking the Bears.
No.
That's good stuff.
16-3 doesn't qualify as a spanking, but if it gets any more, it will. Sid Horn, Nicole's basketball coach, will verify that for me. Hey, Visa halftime continues right after this.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting in 720p and Dolby 5.1.
Third quarter getting set to start with the Eagles in front 16-3. Darryl, looking at the numbers, which all favor the Eagles.
Yeah, the time of possession's big there, but the one that's critical is the points off turnovers, and Chicago couldn't do anything. They actually had to have help from Philadelphia and actually went against them and turned the momentum of that first half.
And those are the numbers, the real numbers. And for the latest fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com. And these are real, too. As Jonathan Quinn thrown for 63 yards, and McNabb with a big first half. Westbrook, 83 yards, rushing and receiving. Thomas Jones, that's a story. He's been held to 18 yards on only 7 carries. See if he improves upon that, as the Bears will get the ball first to start the third quarter. There's Bernard Berrien.
They only ran 25 plays in the first half. So, I mean, for Thomas Jones to get on track, that was one of his complaints at the other places. He needs to be given the ball an opportunity to get on a roll. Can't do that when you've only got 7 rushing plays called because you only ran 25 plays.
And the Bears need to keep possession, as Berrien with a good return out to the 27 as we go down to the field to Tony.
What's up, guys? I got a chance to talk to Lovie Smith. He said, I asked him about Jonathan Quinn. I said, he didn't look too good when he first came out, but he was a lot more comfortable back there at shotgun. Are we going to see him more at the shotgun position? Lovie just says he hasn't had a lot of time doing anything, so he thinks that he feels a lot more comfortable, and if he has to, he'll change up a little bit. That's all I got from him.
Yeah, I think you have to. You have to go with what makes your quarterback comfortable. And if he's more comfortable in that hurry-up shotgun set, then I would do it, because he has not gotten a lot of snaps up until this week in preparation for the Eagles.
I can't believe that's all Tony got out. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line, and here is Quinn, and he swings it out to Jones. And Jones is tackled by Lito Shepherd. There was a lot of question early on for the Eagles as to how those relatively inexperienced corners would hold up. Lito Shepard and Sheldon Brown, they did play a lot last year because of the injuries to the starting corners, and Andy Reid, Jim Johnson had a lot of confidence, and they've held up very well thus far.
And they have played the Minnesota Vikings, so they have gone against a very good quarterback and wide receiver, gave up a lot of yards, one late touchdown to Randy Moss, but they answered that challenge in week 2.
2nd down and 6. Bears on their 31, and Quinn throwing again and overthrows David Terrell.
It just seems like he's a little bit excited. I mean, some of these are starting to sail on him a little bit, and that's what happened in that 4th quarter of the Minnesota game last week. He's just got to relax a little bit in that pocket.
Corey Simon is down, and so the Eagles, who, despite the 3-0 record, have had some tough injuries so far. Sean Andrews, the rookie right guard, John Ritchie last week, and now a guy they really don't need to lose is Corey Simon, because the defensive line has played so well in the early going.
They have stayed relatively healthy this season, and for the past couple of years, it's been a part of that Eagles defense that has really struggled against the injuries. And, you know, Corey Simon is one of those guys that got the injury. Here he comes right here. He gets inside, goes to swim. The one thing I noticed, he wasn't wearing any thigh pads, and it looked like he might have bumped thighs with somebody and got a thigh bruise.
Line of Super Bowl 39.
And we're back here at Soldier Field as Hollis Thomas replaces the injured Corey Simon, a defensive tackle for Philadelphia. 3rd down and 6. And here is Quinn with another 3rd down play, and this pass doesn't get to the receiver, David Terrell. So Quinn has looked shaky, to say the least, and in his defense, remember, this guy has not really thrown a pass in anger. I mean, last week, as you mentioned, he filled in at the end, backed up at his own goal line since 0-1.
Yeah, and the fact that Rex Grossman was getting all those snaps during the course of the week, that his first opportunity to really get in and play with these guys on the offensive side of the ball was just this week, and you're going up against a defense that can make the best quarterback look silly on some Sundays.
You saw the numbers. Maynard's done a good job in kicking, and the Eagles have not returned that well, and a good coverage for the Bears. This one will drop at the 32-yard line early here in the 3rd. So the Eagles go back on attack, leading 16-3, looking for their 4th straight victory. You're not too cold, I know.
I've been in Texas too long.
You've been in Texas too long. How long can the Bears defense, hold the fort, waiting for that offense to do something?
Not much longer. There's too much pressure on them right now. That offense has got to do something where they at least stay on the field. And you know, we knew coming into the season that this would be a team that would need its defense a lot, but even more so now with the injury to Rex Grossman.
Breaking the tackle, but stopped at the 40-yard line. A 7-yard pickup for Terrell Owens. That's his 7th catch of the game for 97 yards. And he had his season's best last week, going over the 100-yard mark for Philadelphia with 107 yards and 6 catches. So he's already exceeded that.
And they're just doing such a good job on 1st down. It's just a pitch and catch between Donovan McNabb, and it's not always Terrell Owens. It can be any of the other weapons that are out there, but they get themselves into these 2nd and short yardage distances.
They need 2 yards, and here is Westbrook breaking a tackle and gets the 1st down. Stopped short of the midfield at the 48 by Bobby Gray. He himself banged up during the week, but playing today. 7 yards for Westbrook, with Gray making the tackle. Westbrook now with 10 carries and 47 yards on the day.
Very workmanlike for Brian Westbrook, and not only involved in the passing game. We saw him, with some catches and the great protection in the 1st half, but he's really a complete player, and I think that he has to be one of the more pleasant surprises in this offense, because we talk about Donovan McNabb a lot, but he has been a big key this season.
And holding up as a workhorse all season long. McNabb getting away from trouble, and the throw incomplete. Trying to get it to Pinkston. Flag is down at midfield. McNabb with a little histrionics after that pass wasn't completed, and I think Donovan blaming himself for that.
Yeah, he did everything he normally does in that situation. He makes something when the play breaks down. Everybody moves up because they think Donovan's going to run, but when he scrambles, he's looking to throw.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 81 was up on the line, covering the tight end. The penalty is declined, brings up 2nd down.
Anxious to get going was Terrell Owens.
Yeah, he's trying to gain a little bit of distance right there, but just watch how he escapes in here. You know, everything's collapsing. Here comes Ian Scott, feels that pressure, hops to the outside, finds a little crack right there. Now he has got Terrell Owens or Todd Pinkston rather, to the outside open, because the guys covering him move up when they see Donovan get on the perimeter.
And the whistles fly, and the
False
Eagles.
Start offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still second
That's
down.
Artis Hicks, the left guard. And 2 straight penalties called against the Eagles, bringing up a 2nd and 15 for them. And that's 8th penalty on the Eagles. And you know, Andy Reid will have something to say about that during the week.
Oh, this is early in the third quarter, and they have already got 8. Now, they're in a position where they can be very selective in areas that they feel they need to improve at. And you know that Monday morning, the one thing that Andy Reid's going to be looking at is the penalties.
2nd and long, and just give the ball to Westbrook. He'll get a bunch back, and he does, getting to midfield. And so an 8-yard pickup will bring up 3rd and 5. Hunter Hillenmeyer, the middle linebacker, in on the play.
You got to love that guy's name, Hunter Hillenmeyer. I love that guy.
You got to say Hillenmeyer, not Hillemeyer. You can't be lazy in the pronunciation, Goose.
It's my kind of guy right there.
That's a pretty strong defense when you got a guy named Tank up front, and then you got your Hunter at the linebacker level. We got to find somebody in the secondary to round that group out.
How about Cameron Morrell? No. 3rd and 7. 1 for 6 on 3rd down conversions for the Eagles. So the Bears have done pretty well in these situations today. Here is McNabb, and pump fake, fires, tipped, and intercepted. And it's the rookie Nathan Vasher, who picked off 17 at the University of Texas with his first NFL interception, gives it back to the Bears.
How prophetic is Lovie Smith? He said, you know what, I need to get Nathan Vasher on the field a little bit more because he just seems to have a sense of getting around the ball. Donovan McNabb, look at the presence he has about where the line of scrimmage is. The play was made on the deflection by your guy, Tony, Hunter Hillenmeyer.
Gotta love him.
I'll tell you, there are some players that are just have a nose for the ball for interceptors, and Vasher seems to be one of those.
The film study during the course of the week will help you out on Sundays. Hunter Hillenmeyer sees something. Now, the Eagles, with all their packages, there's going to be certain plays that come out. He sees something right there. He's alerting everybody else on the defense, but it was Hunter himself who was the guy who made the deflection to allow Nathan Vasher to get the interception.
And Thomas Jones going in motion, 1st down for the Bears. And here is
Somebody go deep for him.
And he finally goes to the fullback, Brian Johnson, and a minimal gain on the play. So a couple of yards to Johnson on 1st down, and that was the first interception thrown by Donovan McNabb this season, and his first pick in 163 pass attempts.
I think you put the whammy on him again. You did it to him last year, too.
What did I do?
In Carolina, you put up a graphic that he had a long streak like that, and he threw an interception on the first play of the game.
We did not have a graphic. We just showed it after the...
No, I saw something earlier today.
After the fact. 2nd down and 6 from the 32. And the fake end around, bursting up the middle is Thomas Jones. 1st down for the Bears, shy of their 40-yard line. And for a game break, here's James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, Brett Favre had his bell rung in this series. He missed a couple of plays, put himself back in, Dick, and on 4th and 5, throws that 28-yard TD strike to Javon Walker. It is all tied at 7. Brett is out now because a concussion is setting in. And Dick, Terry Bradshaw says, tell Tony Siragusa, yeah, TV does put only 110 pounds on you. Back to Dick Stockton.
I hope Tony heard that one. 1st down at the 39. And again, Thomas Jones, this time off the right side. And Michael Lewis and Mark Simoneau making the tackle. As you see, the offensive leaders across the top.
Tell Terry Bradshaw it's easy to say that while he's in California and I'm in Chicago.
Just takes a jet plane, Tony. You can get there in a jiff.
Get me a car.
10 yards with Tony Siragusa next week is one vote.
That's right. Now let's keep him here and let Terry have the 10 yards. Here's the rushing story. The Bears struggling in that department. Only 25 yards today. Came in 4th in the league into this game. 2nd and 9 from the 40. And the swing pass, good play, flag down. Brian Johnson out of bounds, but there's a penalty marker down, and it looks like a holding call coming up. And that'll maybe against Chicago. But we'll wait and see what Ed Hockley determines.
Surprised they haven't gone to that screen play a little bit sooner this afternoon. Very safe play, something that Jonathan Quinn could build some confidence off of. You're really just putting the the ball in the hands of your running backs early on, moving getting some distance, keeping it into a manageable situation on your downs.
It's against the Eagles, apparently.
Holding defense, number 78. A 5-yard penalty is enforced in the previous spot with an automatic first down.
So Hollis Thomas, who came in for Corey Simon, who was shaken up, called for defensive holding, and the Bears get a break. Automatic first down for Chicago.
When you run a screen pass, if you play fake to the running back who's going to be in your screen, then you can grab a hold of him and prevent him from getting out. But if he is not involved in a play fake, then you have to allow him to get into the screen element. I think Hollis Thomas grabbed a hold of Brian Johnson and didn't allow him to get out because that was a slow developing play.
So the ball is up to the 45-yard line. Thomas Jones trying to turn the corner. And Jones picking up a couple of yards on the play. It looked like Quinn had stumbled on that handoff. And Nate Wayne making the tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles, who have not allowed a touchdown in this game. Eagles coming into this game trying to get their defense together. They have diminished the points they have allowed in the first 3 games. The Giants with 17, Vikings 16. Detroit scored 13 last week. Second and 8. Bears up to their 47. And a 2-touchdown lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pressure up the middle, and Quinn had no chance. And it was the veteran Hugh Douglas who was not picked up by any blocker, and a loss of 6 on the play back to the 41.
And that's the scary part when you got a guy that's coming free, and Hugh Douglas on the outside right there. They're motioning across. They turn the protection, but you got to account for your defensive end. There didn't seem to be anything there to get Kasim Mitchell to go inside. I don't know what the protection scheme was there, but I'm going to be worried about number 53. That's the situation that he comes onto the field, is to rush the quarterback. You got to know where he is.
That is the first sack today by the Eagles. They've had 12 different players who've had a hand in sacks, and here they come again, and Quinn goes down, and you knew sooner or later Jim Johnson's going to send everybody, and that time it was Lito Shepherd and company with the cornerback blitz, and 8 more yards negative for the Bears.
And he's going to come from the outside. Right here. Here comes Lito Shepherd in there. And again, you've got another guy who's unblocked. And that is when things get scary against this Eagles defense, because that means they're doing something scheme-wise. They figured something out. They brought 2 guys to Thomas Jones' side. He has to make a decision. He does the right thing and takes Dhani Jones on the inside, but that frees up the outside blitz.
Brad Maynard with the kick, and Reno Mahe is hit immediately and goes down. So Jim Johnson laying in wait all of a sudden throws a few things at Jonathan Quinn. The Eagles will get it back. And another guy who's had a sack.
By Toyota. Choose any direction as long as it's moving forward. By Universal Pictures Friday Night Lights in theaters Friday. By the personal financial advisors of American Express. And by WebMD, redefining modern medicine.
And back here at Soldier Field in Chicago, perfect day. Dick Stockton, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Donovan McNabb, after throwing his first interception, has a wide open Brian Westbrook up the middle and getting a few more yards after the catch, close to the first down. So Westbrook now has caught 7 passes for 48 yards to go along with his 55 yards rushing. Good all-round game for Westbrook.
He has really become a key figure in this this Philadelphia Eagles offense, and kind of took a back seat last week against the Detroit Lions.
Yes,
maybe not as many touches as he was used to, and it's important to keep him involved in this game plan because he always gives you that big play potential.
Second down and 1. Handoff, and it's Westbrook again turning the corner. Boy, a great burst, good speed, and a first down as Westbrook gets to the 44-yard line, getting 6 more yards. So with all the weapons that Donovan McNabb has, the one he can always rely on is this guy.
He really can. He can just do so many different things, whether it's running the football, matching up in the passing game, creating mismatches. I mean, who do you cover him with? Very strong between the tackles, very quick to the perimeter. He's just become a very complete player, and one of the most impressive plays I saw in the first half was Brian Westbrook in pass protection when he stoned a safety coming on a blitz and put him on his back.
Those are the plays that don't show up in the box score, so to speak, and Dorsey Levens gets running room off the right side. And picks up 7 or 8 yards. Nathan Vasher making the tackle. And I like the way Andy Reid is spotting Westbrook today in particular, because he doesn't have the three-headed running back anymore. He doesn't want to overwork Westbrook because he knows that, he's his meal ticket. So he brings Levens in a good deal today.
Well, absolutely. And this offense is based on getting the ball to a number of different people. And Dorsey Levens has proven himself throughout his career as being an effective runner, even in a situational spot like he finds himself now. But it's important not to take a chance on getting Brian Westbrook tired where he can get a muscle pull. Even if he was to miss one game, this would be a totally different offense.
2nd down and 1 at the 48, and here is Levens. And Levens will get enough for the first down as the Eagles again in Chicago territory. That was a 2-yard pickup. As we have nearly 6 minutes remaining in the third, 16-3 Philadelphia.
Josh Perry, your fullback, filling in for the injured John Ritchie, does a nice job here. He's going to get Marcus Reese on the blitz right in his face. Number 52 does a good job. Inside out, gets enough, creates a little bit of a lane there for Dorsey Levens. Andy Reid always liked Josh Perry. He's been in the system, so it's not like he just came in and has to learn it. Just got caught up in those numbers games at the end of training camp.
4 years on the practice squad. A converted linebacker is Josh Perry. And on first down, pressure on McNabb, but he gets away from Ogunleye, and the pass is thrown incomplete on the sideline. The tight end Chad Lewis was there, but McNabb that time was chased by the speedy Ogunleye.
That's got to be so frustrating for a defensive lineman. I mean, you think you're in perfect position to get the sack, and he has that ability to freeze a guy for just a split second that gives him enough time to get out, break, contain, and now all of a sudden he's looking downfield to throw the ball. And that's, you hear a lot of people say, when you're playing against Donovan McNabb, only half the job is done when you get near him. The other part is getting him down on the ground, because we've seen him make completions with people hanging around his waist. He can freeze a guy, break, contain, and make big plays down the field.
He has not yet run the ball today, has 12 rushes coming into this game as he calls the audible and the formation tightens up. 2nd and 10, and the play is blown dead. And the whistle before the snap.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
5 more yards, and this is a penalty-filled game for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're leading, but they're certainly not playing their best by any stretch.
Well, they were going to bring Lance Briggs on a blitz right there, and then all of a sudden Philadelphia audibles. That's why they had to delay a game, and there's Hunter Hillenmeyer again, alerting his defense that something has changed.
Who needs Brian Urlacher? Don't tell him I said that, please.
Everybody would love to have Brian Urlacher.
Only one of the top 2 or 3 in the league. 10 penalties, 73 yards. Charged against the Eagles. 2nd and 15. Quick handoff to Westbrook. Brian Westbrook with a burst and into Chicago territory. Deeper with a first down. A great run by Westbrook, 30 yards. Finally brought down by the free safety Todd Johnson.
You want to see somebody who has command of their offense? There comes your blitz on the right. He changes the play at the line of scrimmage and runs away from it with just a running play. He audible to a running play, probably just flipped it from going to the right to going to the left. Watch Donovan McNabb tap his hips. Here comes your blitzers. They're going to come up into this area right here. He gets the signals to everybody, and that opens up the left side for Brian Westbrook, who goes untouched until he's about 10 yards downfield.
And so officially 29 yards for Westbrook. 50 had been his longest rush so far in this year. And a timeout called by the Bears, their first timeout. And the fullback, Josh Perry, laid on a pretty good block on that run as well. 16-3, the Eagles.
Life got simple the day I plugged into the big...
And the Bears will welcome back Brian Urlacher after the bye week, which is next week. Eagles first down on the Bears 22. And the ball tipped at the line, going for the slant. Hunter Hillenmeyer gets his hand on the pass intended for Greg Lewis. And you look at the total yards, you think the score was 38-0, but it is only 16-3. The Eagles have won their last 16 games, 16 when they have had 300 or more. How about all the omens going in the Philadelphia column today?
Well, it's been the same way week after week, and it should be that kind of score, but Philadelphia has shot themselves in the foot several times this afternoon.
Brian Westbrook has averaged nearly 7 yards a rush. 2nd and 10 from the 22. Chad Lewis in as a blocker, and the pass trying to get it to Westbrook. So 3rd down and 10 now.
Looked like the offensive line left a little bit early on that screen right there. Donovan couldn't get the ball off. But I'll tell you what, if they would have caught that, it could have been 6.
Yeah, he didn't have anybody in front of him. Chicago blitzed really strong to the right side of the Eagles offense, and as you pointed out, Tony, it's a screenplay called. So they're coming in and they release just a little bit too soon. Donovan gets a little bit too much pressure on him from up the middle and off to his right, and he's got to try and float one over the top of everybody to allow Brian Westbrook to run underneath it.
Already in field goal range for David Akers. The Eagles are looking for more. 3rd and 10. Here's the pressure and the pass, and thrown hard to no one in particular, and Bobby Gray was the closest to it. Thrown over his head. Terrell Owens was the intended receiver, and Gray looks to be shaken up a bit. With 4th down coming up and Akers coming in.
More pressure again. Number 55, Lance Briggs coming. Hunter Hillemeyer, number 92, and Donovan McNabb. He's getting a lot of pressure right up into the middle, into his face.
And shaken up on the play was Bobby Gray, who suffered a stinger last week and had to come out of the game. Had a big interception a couple of weeks ago against the Green Bay Packers.
Looks like it looks like Gray's knee went out on him. He tried to get up, and then he started wiggling his left knee. Looked like it locked, and then all of a sudden it just let out.
Tony, this is a team that has been decimated in the secondary. I mean, they lost Jerry Azuma before the season started with neck surgery. He expects to come back relatively soon. Charles Tillman has been out with a knee injury.
There's Mike Brown.
And there's Mike Brown, and that's the big loss, I think.
Yeah, he's their playmaker. I mean, he's the guy that turned that game at Green Bay. Brian Urlacher has the fumble. Mike Brown comes in, scoops it up, goes 95 yards for the touchdown. It's about to be 10-7 Green Bay, and Mike Brown's playmaking ability pushes it to 14-3 Chicago.
So now Akers, who's perfect today, will try the 40-yard field goal. And Akers, and the kick is long enough and good. 4 for 4 for Akers, a 40-yarder. In fact, all of the field goals have been at least from 40 yards, including the 51-yarder in the first.
Sand painting is practiced by many cultures.
Predictable, can't be scripted. It's provided us with some of sports' greatest moments. Well, on Tuesday, Fox Sports begins the month-long journey, starting with the Division Series and then exclusive coverage of the Championship Series, and it all culminates with the World Series and the crowning of a new champion. The drama begins Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, here on Fox. So 1 touchdown today for the Eagles, 4 field goals for David Akers, who kicks off to Bernard Berrien, and he'll let that one roll through for the touchback. So when you hold a team to 3 and you got 4:41 to go in the third, your defense is doing something good, Moose.
Yeah, we talked about them having their best performance last week, and they have continued to build on that. And that's what they should do with a young quarterback who's making his first start this season. And then the second half, they really got on track with their presser package. Guys started to come free, unblocked. So Jim Johnson continuing to go through his play calls to try and get those free blitzers there, and it's just been a very tough day for that Bear offense.
And Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator for the Bears, worked under Jim Johnson for 5 years in Philadelphia. Starting from the 20-yard line with 4:41 to go, here is Thomas Jones, hemmed in, changing directions. Tries to put the juke on and winds up with about 5. Lewis with the tackle. So Jones now with 11 carries, 32 yards in this game.
That was the area that I really felt that the Chicago Bears might be able to exploit a little bit. Their offensive line is played very well this season. Thomas Jones is the leader in the NFC in rushing, and you would have thought that would have been a matchup that they would have more success, but he's averaging less than 3 yards a carry right now.
Terrell and Wade both split to the right. 2nd and 5. Wade going in motion. No end around, and the pass caught by Brian Johnson, but hit immediately. Nothing after the catch, and the Eagles do a good job preventing the Bears from getting a first down, thanks to Brian Dawkins.
Moose, you talked about the offensive line of the Chicago Bears. That's center Krutz. He's not a big guy, but I have never seen a guy. I mean, I played against a lot of centers. Dermontti Dawson, this guy reminds me of. He is so quick on his feet. He blocks not one guy, 2 guys a lot of times, and he also pulls on the edge, something I haven't seen in a long time.
Now, one of the things that he allows this offense to do in the running game is because he is so quick and he can reach a guy who's on the play side shoulder, maybe even inside the guard, that they can do some different things with the blocking scheme with the guard and tackle. He's so quick off the snap.
3rd and 2, short drop and incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down. Brian Johnson, the intended receiver. And the crowd disappointed with that series as Quinn comes off the field. And of course, Goose talking about Dermontti Dawson, who is an all-pro center for many, many years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's high praise for Olin Kreutz.
And also gave me a lot of headaches, Dick.
Well, those are gone now.
Now I got to deal with you.
4th down, Brad Maynard to punt. Reno Mahe at the 22. Mahe cutting up the middle and tackled at the 32-yard line with 3:01 remaining. The Bears trying to get something going offensively. 5 3-and-out in 8 possessions for Chicago.
I was just surprised. You know, Tony talked to Lovie Smith coming out for the second half, and, you know, he did look better in the shotgun. It did look like he felt more comfortable in that hurry-up situation. Why you wouldn't move there right now? He obviously, through this 3rd quarter, is kind of back in that thing where I think he's just overthinking just, you know, some of the things you heard about Jonathan Quinn. He's got the big arm. He's got great field vision, but sometimes he thinks too much, and he just can't let his natural abilities take over. I think he was forced into that when they got into that hurry-up. He just had to go out there and react. I'm surprised we haven't seen the Bears offense go back to that.
You're right. He had to be a lot more instinctive in that instance as Westbrook gets 1 on the play. And you saw the graphic showing how proficient the Eagles have been on the road. And the 26-7 record since the year 2000, they have won 8 of their last 9 on the road. And I think their only loss was it to the Dallas Cowboys.
Last season they lost to Dallas, and they're on 2 consecutive 7-1 campaigns out on the road. So this is a team, you know, there's a tremendous home field advantage when you have to go into Philly and play, but they take care of business when they get away from their home field.
Big first half passing wise for McNabb, keeping it on the ground. And here is Westbrook cutting upfield. Looks like he's about a yard short of the first down, and the tackle's made by Mike Green with help from Michael Haynes, the defensive end.
You get into a 2nd and long situation, you hand the ball off to Brian Westbrook, and you've almost got enough yardage for your first down, and that kind of sums it up if you're a Bears fan right there. You know, you don't want to see any more of this. It's been a long afternoon.
Maybe he doesn't want to be shown at the game. Maybe he's supposed to be somewhere else.
I think he's having one of those days watching his favorite team.
Well, Westbrook with 99 yards. McNabb has hit only 1 of 6 on 3rd downs. He's got 1 here, and here is Westbrook trying to get to 100. He's not going to get it. In fact, he's going to lose a yard. Hunter Hillenmeyer playing an inspired game for Brian Urlacher until Urlacher gets back after the bye, and 4th down coming up. So a good defensive sequence for the Bears.
Well, they have played well all afternoon. They have pursued to the ball very well. They have maintained their gap control, and there's Hunter Hillenmeyer. He gets outside, forces Brian Westbrook back inside, and also makes the tackle. So yeah, the defense has done a good job today, but yeah, they're going to get tired. I mean, they have been out there for a long time today.
And Dirk Johnson with the kick, sending the Berrien into the sun. He's going to let it bounce, and it takes a Chicago roll and goes out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. But you make a great point. The defense has been on the field too much. The offense has got to do some production at some point. Tony, what do you got?
Well, just, you know, looking on the sideline, Andy Reid does not look very happy. You know, we've had this guy many a times this season so far. He looks a lot like somebody I know, but I can't really place it right now, but it'll come to me soon. I promise you that.
Could it be this guy?
Who's that? That's it, Greg Stadler. Greg Stadler, there you go, excellent, excellent, with the goatee and everything. Greg Stadler and Andy Reid, they could be brothers.
Andy Reid said, no, I don't like that idea.
Andy probably hopes he plays golf as good as that guy.
Should have put glasses on Stadler. First down at the 29, and Thomas Jones is snuffed out by Hollis Thomas. Thomas coming in for Corey Simon, losing 4 yards on the play. A lot of depth for the Philadelphia Eagles. Sam Rayburn, another good run stopper. Hugh Douglas has played well today, and they still have been unable to get Paul Grasmanis, the former Bear, back.
Well, it tells you how far along this defensive line has progressed since the injury department a few years ago. Hollis Thomas was the guy that when they lost, how are we going to stop the run? Now he's a guy that's coming in off the bench to replace Corey Simon.
Second down and 14, licking their chops to the Eagles and Jim Johnson back at the 25-yard line, and the pass out and caught by Dustin Lyman and very nearly intercepted. That was very close to Honey Jones fighting Lyman for the ball, but when all is said and done, nothing on the play.
Yeah, nothing on the play. That's the thing, a completion for about a half a yard. You get into some of these plays here, it's very frustrating to wake up in the box score and see 2 catches for 2 yards.
And that's the end of the third quarter. The Eagles leading the Bears 19-3. 2 quarterbacks, Quinn and McNabb. Quinn with his first start of the season, and a 7-year veteran. Had not seen much action in that 7-year career, and Donovan McNabb off to his best start. 19-3 as we start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton, Moose Johnston, Goose Siragusa, 3rd and 13 coming up for Quinn and the Bears. And the pass is caught, but they only left him about 8 yards short of the first down. Thomas Jones making the catch, and you wonder what that play was all about.
You know, Moose, Jonathan Quinn, it's amazing how big this guy is. You would think that his vision of the field, standing behind him for a good portion of the game, you know, you can see the whole field when you're real tall. I'm not even as tall as he is, but it's amazing how he's struggling to get the ball downfield.
Well, I think he's got great vision of the field. You know, Terry Shea, the coordinator, talked about that when he charted plays in Kansas City. He saw things that the scouts didn't see from the sideline. So I don't think that that's the issue here today. I just think that for whatever reason, he's a little bit uncomfortable. He just, he doesn't play instinctively yet. He's kind of overanalyzes what's going to happen, running the play through his head instead of just coming back, going through your progression and finding that open guy. And, Terry Shea's big thing when he talks to him is like, go through your progressions and you'll find the completion. And he seems to be struggling with that a little bit right now.
Yeah, he's a totally different guy when he's under the center compared to when he's 2 or 3 yards back. I just don't understand it.
Bobby Gray cramps, return is questionable, and of course Bears fans have to really miss Rex Grossman right about now because he had that little magic going for him. And there is Rex Grossman, torn ACL, surgery in a couple of weeks. It'll be a 10-month deal. And the first pass, great defense, and that was a great play by the linebacker Lance Briggs as he buried Freddie Mitchell on the pass up the middle.
And that shows you the athletic ability of Lance Briggs. He's in man coverage on Freddie Mitchell, and he's right there with him. That ball is a little bit on the back shoulder, and he's able to make up that distance right there and knock it loose.
Yeah, Freddie knew he was going to get hit on that play, I think.
Yep. 2nd and 10, and the Eagles on the 34-yard line. Opening minute of the fourth quarter. And the Bears showing blitz and coming, and the pass caught by Terrell Owens, and the extra effort will give him the first down to the 46. And for a game break, James Brown has more. JB.
Hey, Dick. Jeremy Shockey was champing at the bit to be involved more in the offense. Little fade pattern here. Touchdown toss from Kurt Warner on 3rd and goal. That's his first touchdown reception since last October. Giants on top by a touch. Back to Dick Stockton.
Well, remember they were talking about Tom Coughlin and how no one wanted to play for him? Well, they're 2-1, and they're playing the Packers tough in Lambeau.
Yeah, Shockey's got to be happy he's not blocking in the backfield anymore, I'll tell you that.
First down, and here is McNabb firing off the hands. Incomplete, Terrell Owens. But Owens had an opportunity to catch the pass. It got to him, and Michael Haynes that time put big time pressure on Donovan McNabb.
And you can see him hit his chest. He knows he let one get away. And these two are becoming very comfortable when you get into these situations where the protection breaks down. Again, the Chicago Bears doing a good job getting pressure in the middle. They have been relentless with their pass rush. Number 97, Michael Haynesworth right there. Ian Allen, 95. But this is where these guys are starting to grow accustomed to each other. When that play breaks down, being able to get into that open spot, and Donovan starting to anticipate where he's going to be.
Haynes did a good job of not making that late hit to cause the penalty. Spreading the defense, and the handoff is to Westbrook. Westbrook gunning for the sticks and may have reached it into Bear territory to the 44. Todd Johnson runs him out of bounds. And once again, the Eagles getting great production out of spreading with wide receivers and then running. 107 yards for Westbrook today.
Well, that was the concern of Lovie Smith, because he really feels that gives him so many more lanes. It opens everything up. You've got to respect the wide receivers when they're opened up in those formations, and then all of a sudden the ability to hand the ball off to Michael Westbrook, and it's a different kind of blocking scheme too. You're just kind of pushing guys to the side. You're getting everybody flowing one direction and allowing him to pick his open lane.
Terrible third down conversions for both teams. 2 for 19. Let's see if McNabb can improve upon it, and he will. And he gets the first down, I believe. Let's see where they spot the ball. It'll be close on second view. It is a first down for the Eagles.
You just have to worry about him throwing the ball when he gets out on the move, and then the vision to be able to sense Lance Briggs coming from behind and put the brakes on and then get back inside for the yards necessary for a first down. You watch him here. He's moving to the right. He's thinking throw. Lance Briggs comes over. He senses him coming, catches him out of his peripheral vision, and is able to duck back inside and get the yards for the first down.
McNabb coming back to his native Chicago, and once again the Eagles spread it out and run it off the spread formation. Changing direction is Westbrook, and he's got McNabb as a blocker, and Westbrook appears to have a first down. Donovan McNabb turns into a blocker that time, and a first down for the Eagles, getting 11.
I don't necessarily think he turned into a blocker. I think he turned into one of those guys that runs interference.
Okay.
You'll see right here. Let's see. All right, he's got a chance. All right, there's 93. Okay, he's by him. Now, where's my next guy? 24? No. He'll get it. He'll get it.
He's got that veteran savvy about him. He knows don't hit nobody.
That's probably one of the things that Andy Reid tells him. You can get out. If you want to run around, that's fine, but don't you dare pull one of those crazy Brett Favre things and start throwing chop blocks on guys downfield.
He may have hurt Andy yelling across the field, don't touch anyone. Here's Westbrook, and for a second it looked like Westbrook was going to throw the ball on the option play. He had Terrell Owens downfield, instead goes out of bounds.
I think you're exactly right, and that's a smart play by Brian Westbrook, because downfield there were 3 guys on Terrell Owens. They didn't fool anybody with that play, and that shows you now the intelligence that Brian Westbrook has. Here's a play that we put in, we've got in our package, and you don't have to throw that. I think a lot of times those running backs, they get in that situation and they feel like they have to throw it. You can pull it down and try and get some positive yards carrying the ball, or worst case scenario like he did right there, just get out of bounds and we'll live to play another day.
They are on the 35 of the Bears. Second down and 14. Give to Westbrook, and down he goes. He'll lose a few more. Adewale Ogunleye, who was acquired from Miami from Marty Booker, the wide receiver, already paying dividends for the Bears defense, and that time a loss on the play of 3.
He has given him that presence on the outside, that speed rusher with the sack capability, and you go back inside, and they've got Tommy Harris and Take Johnson and Michael Haynes and Ian Scott. They've got a lot of guys that they can already start their rotation inside with. Alex Brown's very athletic on the other side, and that is why they have played so well today. They have got a nice group in that defensive line up front.
Not a bad job. Vasher has an interception, one of the 3 rookies starting today. 3rd and long, 3rd and 17, and flushing McNabb out, and the pitch to Westbrook, and Westbrook running, and he is going to get the first down. So there are all kinds of plays that the Eagles have, all kinds of targets and ad-libs, and a 20-yard play by Westbrook giving the Eagles another first down.
Now, what do you do in this situation? I mean, you have forced him out of the pocket. He breaks out. They've got the screen, and he has to flip it. And how many times we've had the chance to cover the Eagles quite a bit this year. How many times have we seen them in 3rd and long yardage? That was 3rd and 17, and they run a screen play and get the first down.
He deserves a breather, does Westbrook. Andy Reid loves to throw, and the team running more here in the second half with the lead, and Dorsey Levens with the carry. Hunter Hillenmeyer making the tackle, a 3-yard gain with a little more than 5 minutes gone by here in the 4th quarter. The Eagles have led all the way. They're up 19-3.
They have been just in complete control of the game, and we have to start saying some things about this Bear defense, because they have really done a nice job today. It's been a long afternoon for them. The offense hasn't held up their side of the bargain. They have struggled on the offensive side of the ball, but defensively this game could be, maybe even a little bit more lopsided than it is right now.
Yeah, Moose, I think people don't really understand You know, when you go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out as an offense, these plays just keep piling on top of each other, and you really start to get wore down a little bit as a defense.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, they may be, and there was good pressure that time for Hunter Hillenmeyer, and I have to tell you, the one thing that you come away with, win or lose in this game, and the Bears are on the short end, this is a well-coached football team on both sides.
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing about all the injuries that the Bears have today. You know, without Brian Urlacher, without Mike Brown, without Rex Grossman, I mean, those are your 3 captains, and they've got some other injuries there. To have seen these 2 teams play today with the full complement of the rosters would have been a really, really good, well-played football game. Bobby Grayer's returned at strong safety, and the pitch to Brian Westbrook gets by 1 defender, but he can't get away after Ogunleye put the pressure on. And a 4th down coming up, and Akers will come on to try to add 3 more to the Eagle total. So, you know, the offense, of course, Quinn in his first game in the Chicago uniform has had his problems today. But the Bears are making the Eagles work. There's no question. This will be a 39-yard attempt for Akers. Akers already has kicked 4 field goals today, all from 40 or longer. And the 39-yard field goal, no good. So Akers says it's too short for me. Give me the long ones. As he hooked that one, and the score remains 19-3, Eagles.
This bolt is 4.5 inches long.
Theaters by Coors Light, the coldest tasting beer in the world. Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 39. And by Singular, the wireless company that fits you best.
And welcome back to Chicago. It was chilly early in the day, but it's warmed up to close to 70 degrees. And the Bears are looking to warm up offensively. They have not been able to muster much on the attack with Jonathan Quinn in his first start after Rex Grossman is lost for the season with injury. First down for the Bears on the 30. Trailing by 16 after Akers miss. And Brian Johnson hit immediately by Lito Shepherd, and those passes out on the flat with that defense not netting him much yards.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a good play because you've got the blitzer coming right off the spot where you're slipping the fullback into the flat, but because of the way they do their coverage scheme, there's another guy coming across to take that spot. So it's actually not an open, hot area. It's actually covered by 26 Lito Shepherd.
2nd down and 10.
There's a shotgun.
And Berrien the rookie is in the game as a wide receiver, wide to the left, covered by Hood, the nickel back, and they dump it off to Thomas Jones, and Jones trying to get some yardage, moves it up to the 36-yard line, 6-yard gain, so he's shy by 4 with another 3rd down coming up. The Bears have converted only 1 3rd down conversion today.
See if they stay in that shotgun formation. Maybe even get into a little bit of that hurry-up mode. You're at 7 minutes and 39 seconds left right here. You're down by 2 possessions.
I hate to ask this. Is this 4th down territory, 2-play territory?
Not here. Not here.
And fortunately, we don't have to answer that question right now as David Terrell makes the catch for the 1st down.
There's 2 first downs for you.
2 3rd down conversions. You're right, Tony.
Thanks, Dick.
You got to go with what you got out there. As we wind down to 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Eagles leading 19-3. They have scored the only touchdown in the game. All the other scoring coming on field goals. And here is Quinn up the middle again to Thomas Jones, but he is tackled by Nate Wayne. Not a bad first down play.
Well, the Eagles defense knows the situation. They know what the score is. They know they can't give up the big play. So right now they're doing a good job of what Chicago tried to do. We're going to keep everything in front of us. The guys that go deep, we're going to make sure that they're covered. If they want to throw the ball underneath, take time off the clock. You know, that's not our issue right now. That's what they can have right there.
David Terrell still on his feet. And finally going out of bounds. So the Eagles have to be shaking their heads. There had to be a miscommunication because Terrell was left wide open. It turns out to be a 32-yard play for the Bears.
Some kind of mix-up in the coverage because, as you pointed out, Dick, they did not have anybody out there. You can see right there, number 24, Sheldon Brown trying to get there, but he's a step too late.
And the pass into the end zone on the hurry up to Bernard Varian as they went without the huddle. And the pass is incomplete, 2nd and 10. But as you pointed out, it looks like Jonathan Quinn is best when he has to really play hurry up and not really think so much.
Well, that was a heady play on that last one. The fact that you look up, you see your receiver out there with no coverage on it. Something happened in that Philadelphia secondary, and they forgot about number 83.
2nd down and 10. And he drills that one. Well, they said he had a strong arm, and Bobby Wade had no chance for that.
He's got a strong arm, but he needs to work on that accuracy a little bit. He has sailed a couple passes, and it's tough on a young guy out there. And you're going up against a very difficult defense that you have to prepare for all week long. And you know that adrenaline starts pumping, and you've got the ability to sail a few.
18 for 33 for Quinn, 132 yards, and the pass caught by Terrell, and a quick hit put on by Michael Lewis. And it's 4th down coming up. 4th down and short. Rex Grossman looking on from the bench. 4th and 1. And the Eagles are going to go with 2 tight ends. And the play clock down to 16. They'll get off this play easily. And no shotgun here. 4th and 1. 3 tight ends in the game for the Bears. And here is Thomas Jones, 1st down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. So Rex Grossman lending his support, and the Bears with a 1st and goal, looking for their first touchdown of this game.
Well, there was no, you look over here, they've got all their 4 big bodies right on that side, right there. Brian Johnson, a good kick-out block on Dhani Jones, but they moved the fullback and the tight end up to the line of scrimmage. They weren't trying to trick anybody with where they were going there.
1st and goal, ball at the 8-yard line. 10th play of the drive for the Bears. Question is, can they finish it off against a team tough to defend in the red zone? This pass caught at the 3 by Desmond Clark. And his forward progress may be closer to the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Amazing that we've been talking all afternoon about how well this team has been playing. And maybe this is one of the reasons why they're not really nervous down here. They are so good in the red zone, but they have been in control of the game all afternoon. David Akers misses a field goal that's going to put them up 22-3. The Bears are marching right down on the field on that. If they get this and get a 2-point conversion, you're talking about an 8-point game. It's a 1-possession game after they have been really dominated all afternoon.
2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line, and it's play action. And here is Quinn going to run it and throws, and the pass caught, touchdown to Brian Johnson. So Quinn gets his first touchdown as a Chicago Bear, finds his fullback Brian Johnson for a 2-yard score.
There goes Brian Johnson in motion, but watch the way he works. He is the only guy out on that route. He does a great job. Quentin Michael has got to feel him. He's got to realize that he has slipped him behind. And he loses track of him. He's worried about coming up to put the hit on Jonathan Quinn. That's not his responsibility. Quentin Michael has got to stay with Brian Johnson.
And a 2-point conversion with just under 4 minutes remaining. It's 19-9. And as you said, if the Bears convert here, it becomes a 1-score game. An 8-point deficit. The Bears have tried once this year to go for 2. Otherwise, it's a 2-score game and no chance. And Thomas Jones stopped at the 5. 2-point conversion turned back, but the Bears get a touchdown and trail the Eagles 19-9.
Boy, this is just an interesting play call right here. They're gonna pull this guy. They're gonna ask the tight end to block down on a guy. That should be trapped from the right, and then they're going to run the fake reverse to try and hold flow, but the reverse is timed so poorly, nothing works. Watch, 74 pulls. How is Desmond Clark supposed to get around his face? They're trying to run a wham, but that should have came from the other direction. He does a good job by getting Darwin Walker off his feet, but well, that play was destined to fail.
And the Bears are hoping they succeed on this onside kick. Remember, the ball has to go 10 yards. And there's the kick, and it is protected and covered by the Eagles. Ike Reese, who will take over inside the Bears' 40-yard line, leading by 10.
Units per transaction.
Here at Soldier Field, the Eagles leading 19-9, 3:56 away from their 4th straight victory. And after the onside kick failed, the Eagles at the 42 of Chicago. Westbrook on his way to a banner game, and he picks up 5 yards. That's 116 yards in the game on 21 carries. His career high came this year against the Giants in the opener when he had 119 yards on the ground. Westbrook will leave the game, replaced by Dorsey Levens. 2nd down, 6 on the 38. Clock is running. The Bears have 2 timeouts remaining, and they would need 2 scores to overcome the Eagles, or at least tie them. And here's McNabb going to the tight end, broken up, and it's Chad Lewis. Mike Green breaks it up, and for a game break, let's quickly go out to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Dick, Doug Peterson still in for Brett Favre. He's been trying to talk his way back in. Intended receiver, Donald Driver, tipped up high, picked off by Terry Cousins of New York. 2:20 left in regulation. Giants on top by a touchdown back to Dick Stockton.
So the Giants holding the vaunted Green Bay offense to 7 points. They have responded after being shredded by the Eagles in the opening game of the year. 3rd down and 6 at the 38. 3 wide receivers, and the quick jump pass to Mitchell caught. 1st down at the 30 as we wind down to 3 minutes remaining. The Browns are leading the Redskins 17-13 in the 4th quarter. New England locked in a Donnybrook with the Bills.
I tell you, who would have thought the Green Bay Packers would be staring at 1-3 after the way they played that first Monday night against Carolina, with 2 of those games at home. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you don't know, and you know,
I didn't throw that in there. I don't know if you guys wanted that or not. Thought I'd just let you know my opinion.
We'll accept it because we have to. 1st down, handoff, Dorsey Levens, and Levens brings it down to the 26-yard line. Ian Scott making the tackle, and the clock stops in a timeout with 2:29 remaining in the 4th quarter. And the timeout called by the Bears. That will leave them with 1. Timeout will return to Soldier Field in just a minute.
A typical full-size
timeout remaining. 2nd down and 7 on the 27 of the Bears. Brian Westbrook back in. Terrell Owens has caught the touchdown pass from McNabb, the only TD for the Eagles today. And here is Westbrook. Westbrook picks up 3 yards, so he's inching closer to his career high. 118, 1 yard less than what he gained against the Giants, as the Bears call their 3rd and final timeout. And of course, they'll have the clock stoppage at the 2-minute warning. Last week, Westbrook met a good friend.
This might have been the hardest hit he took all afternoon from his coach.
Andy Reid looked like Jackie Gleason with that kick after that a little bit. The honeymooners.
He even said that he thought that Andy Reid threw a flipper at him. You know, threw him a little forearm when he came by him.
How unflappable is Andy Reid? Even when a guy's going in there, he just, you know, just keeps his poise, put the leg out. 3rd and 5 for Philadelphia. No more timeouts remaining. Westbrook is 1 yard away from his career high. See if he gets the call now. He does. And he's going to lose yardage. Lance Briggs making it difficult. A 2-yard loss. And we will have a 2-minute warning will be the next time the clock stops.
Moose, there he goes again, pointing stuff out, and nothing happening.
he's got that touch to throw the whammy on everything.
2-minute warning.
The whammy master.
You guys are ganging up. We'll be back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to
from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker has up to the second scores and stats. And a 45-yard, looking to tie his career high with 5 field goals, is David Akers, missed earlier, and this kick is no good. And he misses another one. So Akers, after kicking 4 in a row from as long as 51 and as short as 42, misses from 39 and 45 yards, and the score remains 19-9 with 1:55 to go. And you know, the Eagles are headed obviously for their 4th straight victory, but where would you put them in the 4 games, considering who they were going up against and all of that?
I think this is the sloppiest game that they've played up until this point this season. Number one, the Bears with all the key injuries. I mean, 3 of their 5 captains that started the season, playmakers for this football team, not in the lineup today. And then just early on in the game, the penalties, different things that are in their control. And they just didn't seem to get off to that start. Now, they finished a little bit better today. But, you know, even that last drive, allowing Chicago to get down the field and get the touchdown. They made a nice play on the 2-point play to prevent it from becoming a 1-possession game. But I would say that of the first 4 games this season, that this has probably been the one that's been most poorly played. But the defense, which, you know, we talked about at the beginning, starting to gel. Offensively and special teams, I don't think the Eagles played well today.
And, of course, another victory by double digits or more. That's 4 in a row. And you have to go back to 1953 when they accomplished that. 1:50 to go, and Bobby Wade makes the reception. What about the Bears? You know, Quinn, and you know, the things you pointed out, not being over analytical, aiming his passes. He did that today in his first game. Your thoughts?
The big thing, this is his first game, and he'll become more comfortable, and I think he's got a lot of the tools. And you see right there a pass to David Terrell. But you see the official with the hat off right there. That means he went out of bounds, and he cannot be the first guy to touch the ball coming back inbounds.
Terrell arguing with the official. Will be to no avail.
It's a good job using the sideline as one of your teammates. You know, you force that guy. Roderick Hood does a good job of forcing him to the sideline.
Definitely stepped out of bounds, but you know, Jones for the second. Jones was unable to really get unleashed today because the Eagles knew without the strong passing game that they were going to have to run the ball.
You can't be one-dimensional. You have to be able to do both phases well. And with Jonathan Quinn struggling and the passing game struggling, the Eagle defense was able to really kind of hunker down and concentrate or focus their attention on Thomas Jones.
Illegal contact, defense number 29.
That's Hood.
That penalty is declined. The pass was completed. The player was knocked out of bounds illegally. Therefore, he was permitted to catch the pass. First down.
See his footstep on the line right there, but you know, part of that new rule, no contact beyond 5 yards. So when he did go out of bounds on an illegal play by the defense, he is still an eligible receiver.
So a 27-yard gain after all of that. And a timeout and another conference going up here. Not that there is any challenge here, but if there is any question, it would come from the replay booth. It's out of the hands of Andy Reid in this case. So Ed Hockley passing the word on to the players. Set to go, 1:28 on the clock, first down. And the Bears on the Eagles 30. Trying to see what they can do in the waning moments. And Quinn gets sacked That is the third sack of the game by the Eagles, and Derek Burgess picks it up. And a little comedy here as the clock continues to run, and someone kicked the ball, and the officials recovered and put it back as we have nearly a minute to go. And Quinn dumps it off to Thomas Jones, and Jones dives close to the 35, under a minute now. Picked up 12 on that one. Flag down, and the reception caught by David Terrell at the 20-yard line, but there was a penalty. It would be a first down pending the call as the clock stops with 47 seconds left.
Offside, defense, number 56. The penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Well, tonight on Fox, it's a special movie presentation. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker came up for a second run in the world broadcast premiere of Rush Hour 2 following King of the Hill and The Simpsons. It all starts at 7, 6 Central tonight on Fox. From the 19-yard line, and this pass thrown out of bounds.
Well, we talked about the Philadelphia Eagles, and maybe the one of the question marks that they have is the ability to finish a game. But watching the Bears today, they have been resilient they've played their best football here in the fourth quarter. It's been a long day for the offense to the afternoon. And the question, they're still making Philadelphia finish this defensively.
And here's Quinn, who gets on his way to run hard. Third down in front of the Phillies. The stoppage of play with the flag with 19 ticks on the clock.
Well, Bernard Berrien has got to have a sense of urgency. He's the guy, he's still jogging out to his position to get set. Everybody else on the offense is ready to snap the ball. And he's just jogging out there to get set. He has got to get back and get lined up. It's a situation where you're going against the clock. I mean, everybody else is ready to go, and they're waiting for him to jog out and get set as the wide receiver.
He thinks it's the second day of two-a-days. And another conference. And welcome those of you who saw the Browns beat the Redskins. Here's Ed Hockley.
There was an illegal motion by the offense, number 80, never got set before the snap. That foul, when under a minute, causes the ball to be bone dead before the snap. Therefore, the offside on the defense did not occur. The foul was before the snap. The clock should be reset to 24 seconds. That's what it was at the time of the snap. The illegal motion inside 1 minute requires a 10-second runoff. Therefore, the clock goes to 24, and then reset the clock to 14 seconds, and it's third down.
And for our viewers who just joined us, and I don't know if you wanted to hear a legal term, that's a lawyer, Ed Hockley, giving an explanation, but to bring you up to date, it's 19-9 in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles. 14 seconds to go in a game that the Eagles were not as sharp as usual. David Akers kicked 4 field goals. Dick Stockton, Darryl Johnston. This is the finish.
Yeah, I still don't understand what happened on that play. He's got to be more specific, and it's so confusing.
My head is spinning down the sideline.
Bobby Wade makes the catch. The Bears are out of timeouts, and they're not going to get another play off. And the Philadelphia Eagles will go to 4-0 to start the season, and the Bears drop to 1-3 as the Philadelphia Eagles win again. And a win on the road. Jonathan Quinn with his first appearance, and Donovan McNabb returning to his hometown of Chicago engineers another victory. We'll be back in just a moment.
Cold hard fact. Other Bears are heat.
Donovan McNabb throwing his first interception of the year. Brian Westbrook, a big game. Terrell Owens, the only touchdown for the Eagles today. And so that's the story here. This is Dick Stockton for Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa saying so long from Chicago, where once again the final score, the Eagles 19 and the Bears 9. And now we'll send you to Los Angeles for the SBC postgame show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. So long, everybody.
Welcome to the SBC Post.
No record for the first time since 1993. 4-0 for the first time since 1993. The Eagles are indeed flying high.
All right, Chicago. All right, R.W. McQuarters muffs this punt. Actually, Nathan Vasher, rookie roommate, a teammate of his, knocked the ball loose. Donnie Jones recovers, then back come the Eagles as McNabb hits Terrell Owens for a 6-touchdown reception. On the year 19-9, Eagles take care of the Bears.
And, of course, Donovan McNabb coming off of a game of 24-38, 237 yards and a touch. McNabb guiding him nicely. Caught up with our big guy, Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, guys. We're here with Donovan McNabb. Donovan, a win is a win in my book. You know, while it's fresh on your mind still, some of the things that you still have to clean up to get better and get to where you want to go.
Well, that's the exciting part about the win, and know we can watch the film and kind of correct things coming off of the bye week. We have a bye week, so we get a chance to rest up and come on back. We're all going to watch the film and learn from it and hopefully correct it going into the next week against Carolina.
The other question I have is I got a chance to go and sit down with your mom and some of you guys at dinner last night. How do you stay so skinny when your mom puts so much good food out?
Well, believe me, that's only once a year when we all get together and we have that much food. But, you know, you try to eat healthy and just try to stay on top of things so that you won't get so tired out here. I think a lot of us might have ate too much last night, but the good thing about it, we ran it off and we're ready to eat some more.
Yeah, a lot of us did eat too much last night, especially me. Thanks a lot, Donovan. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Tony, I know we focus a lot of attention on Terrell Owens, 8 catches for 110 yards and a touch, but Westbrook is a kid with a number of gears, Howie.
Well, 178 total yards, another big game for them. You know, let's talk about the Bears for a second. 19-9, this game shouldn't have been this close. 10 penalties for the Eagles, 1 turnover. Donovan forced the ball in, got on a tip, his first interception. He continues to spread the ball around and make plays, but this Bears football team plays hard, and they are decimated.
Yeah, and the bunch that's not decimated is Philadelphia. They got so many weapons. You talked about Westbrook, you know, running the football, catching the football. McNabb, the most efficient quarterback in the league, only 1 interception this year. And then they got an outstanding defense. They got a lot of ways they can beat you.
There was a showdown in the AFC South, Indianapolis and Jacksonville, 2 outstanding quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, of course, and Byron Leftwich. And let's see who would score first.
All right, well, let's look at Pittsburgh first because that's my old former team. Roethlisberger, the rookie, Ben Roethlisberger.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome into the post-game show. We figured it was going to be a rough ride, and it was. Corey McPherrin here, along with the esteemed Tommy Waddle.
And by the way, that Eagle Man thing didn't get any better the second time.
Exactly right. You know, we talked this week, the defense was all fired up about stepping up and doing their part to take the pressure off of Jonathan Quinn. And, in fact, they did exactly that today.
They certainly did. Yes, they give up over 375 total yards, but just 19 points. 1 touchdown, four field goals. They played excellent red zone defense out there. They pressured Donovan McNabb all over the field this afternoon, and they did it with 5 of their starters out. And they were on the field forever. For 37 minutes, this defense was out there. I think, again, Ron Rivera, a great game plan, and the healthy bodies that are left out there doing a fantastic job.
You keep the Eagles to 1 touchdown.
Fantastic.
You're doing something right. Right now, let's go out to Soldier Field. Sean Gale is there, along with one of the offensive stars today, fullback Brian Johnson. Sean, take it away.
That's right, guys. I'm with Brian Johnson. He started to become a giant killer. He scored first in Green Bay, and now he's here after scoring the first and only touchdown against a very stingy Eagles defense. Brian, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how do you feel about the way the offense played today?
Well, I think we could have played a lot better. We need to have a lot more productivity on our first downs to be able to convert on third down conversions. I think a lot of people say, you know, just keep running the ball, run the ball, but there's a lot of different situations to set up so we can stay on the field as far as our first down productivity and stuff like that.
Well, coming into this game, everyone talked about the Eagles' offense, but after watching the game film, were you guys pretty aware that they're pretty good up front defensively?
They are. They do. They have a really good defense. Their backers are quick. Their defense in front is fast and strong too. So, you know, they do have a good defense.
Looking back on today's game, you personally, there's certain things an offense has to do to improve. I mean, first there's fundamentals, and after that is game planning. Can you put your finger on what exactly the Bears have to do right now offensively to improve?
Well, it's kind of hard to say right now. I just got done with the game, but we're going to watch the film tomorrow and see what we've done. I think it's good that we have a bye week next week, and everyone's going to look themselves in the mirror and see what they can do to improve individually and come together as a team.
Brian, Corey's got a question for you in the studio.
All right.
Brian, tell us about Jonathan Quinn. What was his demeanor like early on, his huddle presence, and how he kind of improved over the course of the game? Obviously, he was inaccurate for much of the game. Tell us about your thoughts on Quinn's efforts today.
Well, I think Quinn did a good job. He had a lot of expectations, and you know, he's been making a lot of great plays in practice, and he's a good player, and I think he's definitely going to get better. A lot of people want to try and judge him on this first game, say, you know, he's no good for the rest of the season, but I think he's going to be a very good quarterback for us.
And I'm sure Coach Smith has made it clear that you guys have to rally around an important position like quarterback, a guy who hasn't had the reps throughout the year. He gets thrown into the fire, and he's asked to step up and make some plays. So as an offense, you guys really have to rally around him. How do you feel about that?
That's right. No, I have no problem with that. I think our offensive line does a great job, and I think we're definitely going to rally around him and come back with the Redskins home.
Thanks, Brian.
All right.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Brian Johnson today, 4 catches on the day, including the big one for touchdown. Back to Sean Gale a little bit later on. A surprise, well, not hardly. The Eagles' flight may have been a bit rockier than most of us expected, but they do grind it out to go to 4-0 on the season. Your final, Bears lose it by a score of 19-9. We have some highlights for you. And Tommy, new group of captains out there.
I don't think you want to be a captain. Every guy that's been a captain's gotten hurt.
First quarter, Bears try to set the tone, the pressure, Alex Brown, the sack.
As I said earlier, they did a great job all day long pressuring Donovan McNabb, and that's not an easy guy to put pressure on.
2 plays later, again, Tommy Harris and the Tank Man.
Keep it going. This defense, again, is so impressive despite losing 5 of their starters.
And then a gift, second quarter, Nathan Vasher gets tangled up with R.W. McQuarters. You see the result.
Can't have turnovers like that, especially when your offense is giving you basically nothing.
Eagles take advantage. Jonathan McNabb.
Give me 6 sit-ups now.
T.O. will comply.
Just a matter of time before those two hooked up.
Eagles 13-0. It's a 6th touchdown grab of the year.
Again, they did a great job for the most part keeping the Eagles out of the end zone. Just 1 touchdown. That was it for 60 minutes.
Before the end of the half, the Bears threatened with a drive of their own. And watch Thomas Jones. Didn't see much of this today, Tom.
Well, we had hoped that they would run the ball effectively and take some pressure off of Jonathan Quinn, but only 32 yards rushing from Thomas Jones today.
Bears a chance. Desmond Clark would like to have this one back.
Yeah, you've got to take advantage of opportunities. Desmond is a very difficult catch, but actually a pretty good throw by Jonathan. Got to come down with that one.
Bears settle for 3, 16-3 your halftime score. Bears going to get anything going, have to be on defense. Nathan Vasher grabs the ball for interception.
Ron Rivera talked about it earlier this week. Nathan Vasher was going to be in the lineup because he has a history in college of coming up with these types of plays. And I said in the pregame show, Jonathan Quinn was a sack waiting to happen. It happened late. He got hit quite often.
Got hit a couple times here, though, to David Terrell for 32 yards in the 4th quarter. And then Quinn will roll out and look for the aforementioned Brian Johnson in the end zone.
This is just a great play. I think Jonathan Quinn understands this offense. There's just a big difference between understanding it and executing it for 60 minutes.
Unbelievably, the Bears are only down by 10 points. They try to go for 2, but not going to happen.
Well, this is a
replay
touchdown.
First of all,
it was an excellent play, but here's a 2-point conversion. And some will question the play call. I don't question the play call. I question the execution of some of the guys on the left line of scrimmage. But as you see, I think some people wanted to hide their face today.
Your final, Bears fall the Eagles, 19-9.
Defensively, you guys stayed in this thing to the very end. How do you feel about how you guys played?
I don't feel good about a loss, you know. Fought hard, just didn't do enough. Didn't do enough to win.
The offense never got going. Sometimes that happens, but we just got to get some first downs first. You know, we can't get concerned about getting in the end zone regardless of what the score is. We move the chains, and then things will happen.
Hey, you look at the Bears, rushing had been their strength to this season. This season so far, come up with, 32 yards today.
I can hear people screaming already. I told you so. Jerry Angelo did not equip this team with a quality backup quarterback. Relax, people. He hadn't started an NFL game in, 3 years? And I think there were moments out there that have to lead you to believe that he will make improvement. Again, he understands this offense. There's just a big difference between understanding and executing. I think after the bye, I think Jonathan Quinn will make some improvement.
We got to take a break. We come back much more on the post-game show. Stay with us if you can.
this looks like the Eagles have it. They have it. 42-yard line, Bears territory.
Menard's big money play of the game in the second quarter. Eagles up 6-0. McNabb to T.O., providing enough points for the Eagles to win this matchup.
And for the most part, this Bears defense contained McNabb to T.O. and actually created a turnover, an interception. First interception of the season from Donovan McNabb.
McNabb going to 5-0 against the team he grew up rooting for in the south suburbs in beautiful Dalton, Illinois. Right now, back out to Soldier Field. Sean Gale standing by with John Tate. Sean?
Hey, guys. With a quarterback coming off the sideline and getting thrown into the action, Jonathan Quinn's got to look at some issues dealing with confidence. He's got the ability and he's got the talent, and one of the guys that's in charge of protecting him until he gets to that point is John Tate. John, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
How do you feel about today's game offensively?
Well, first of all, it's very disappointing. We didn't put very many drives together. We had a hard time, moving the ball. We had a lot of 3-and-outs. That puts a lot of stress on your defense, and we can't put our team in a situation like that. And it's, like I said, it's a collective thing. All 11 guys on offense, whoever's in there, we need to execute better.
Now, you knew going into this game it was going to be some changes with a new guy at the helm, and I'm sure you all believe in him. What particularly do you think you're going to focus on this week coming up?
Well, we're going to prepare for our next game just as like we prepared for this one. Everybody works hard. It's a matter of time, I think. It's a matter of timing. I think it's a matter of having 11 guys in the huddle working together. Jonathan Quinn's a good quarterback, Some people are probably going to bag on him after this game, but, hey, I'm sticking by him because he knows the offense the best and he's going to get better.
John, Tom's got a question for you in the studio.
Tom Waddle back in the studio. How did today's game plan differ with Jonathan under center as opposed to the first 3 weeks with Rex Grossman at quarterback?
I don't know. I guess just by people watching the game, probably there's not as much, quarterback action as far as some naked, some rolling out of the pocket. Jonathan Quinn does best when he can hang in the pocket and make his throws. We just need to work better as an offense to execute. When we have all those 3-and-outs and stuff, I can't give you an answer as to why they didn't work. Or we need to go back and watch some film. We need to get better as a team. Each one of us individually needs to look at ourselves, see what we can do better, and then see what we can do to help the team.
Hey, John Corey here. One thing we noticed today, one of the big matchups that we talked about in the pregame show, John Tate versus Javon Kearse. What's going to happen? Can John hold his own? We're just talking about it. We didn't hear Javon Kearse's name come up very often during the course of the game. How did you feel you held up against him today?
He's a good player. I guess he did pretty good. I don't think he had any sacks or anything like that. Our big thing was we wanted to give John Quinn enough time to make his throws. Had some nice help. Olin Kreutz coming over and helping a couple times. So, hey, I'd much rather trade an individual performance for a win, but I think on pass protection we tried our best to give Jonathan Quinn time to make his throws.
John, you're going into a bye week. You guys have to get healthy, spend some time off, coming together as a team. Are you looking forward to this week coming up?
Looking forward to getting better. And, whenever you can have a bye week and rest your body and rest your mind a little bit, it's important because it's a long season. But I think our next opponent is the Washington Redskins, and we're going to be ready to play those guys.
All right. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
All right, Sean Gale and John Tate out at Soldier Field. And Tommy,
I think they got their money's worth out of John Tate. John Tate was excellent today. As you mentioned, we said after that game, where was Javon Kearse? I didn't hear Javon Kearse's name all day long. And that is truly a tribute to the way John Tate played today.
All right, Bears and Eagles. Eagles take it 19-9 to go to 4-0. The Bears drop to 1-3. We've got more to come on the post-game show after these.
He proceeds to do some sit-ups in the end zone. Haven't seen that before.
Hide your eyes.
Final stats, a couple things that pop out. 37 minutes time of possession for the Eagles. And then your rushing yards. The Bears with only 32 yards. They come in as the 4th leading rushing team in football. And, of course, Thomas Jones, the first leading rusher, top rusher in the NFC. And to think they only came up with 32 yards, of course, falling behind early didn't help in that regard at all.
Well, then all the pressure shifts over to a quarterback, as we said at the start, that had not taken a snap in 3 years, and he's throwing to a group of wide receivers that really hasn't established themselves in the National Football League. So a pretty tall order for Jonathan Quinn to try to go out there and get the job done.
And a pretty good team they're playing.
Yes, let's give this Philadelphia Eagles team some credit out
Although
there.
They didn't play their best football, much of it having to do with
Caused
how well
by the Bear
Bears
defense.
played. Let's listen to Lovie, his thoughts about today's game at the podium a few minutes ago at Soldier Field.
Jonathan's a good player. He's going to lead us to a lot of wins this year. His next outing will be better than his first. His next outing will be better like I could say that about a lot of other guys too.
All right, that's Lovie Smith talking about the aforementioned Mr. Quinn.
Do I have his numbers right here? 26 of 43 for just over 200 yards.
215 yards and a touch.
One touchdown,
and
no
picks.
interceptions.
Yeah.
As I said, I've said it now for 2 or 3 times. He understands this offense. There is some rust that needs to be knocked off. Eventually, with some repetition, he will start to execute that offense. That is the hope, obviously.
I don't think we saw anything we didn't expect to see out of him today, really, when you think about it. Let's go back out to Soldier Field. Sean Gale again with a guest alongside. Sean.
Hey, guys, I'm here with Big Tank, number 94. Tank, how do you feel about today's game?
I feel like there's things that we can look at as positives, and I think that there's things we can work on. But, all in all, our defense is we're going to get better.
Well, you guys played pretty well today. You're talking about a high-powered offense, the Eagles, coming in and allowing only 1 touchdown. I mean, you guys did something right.
Our coach Rivera got us in a pretty good scheme that, puts us, in every gap, so the team's going to have a hard time running it right at us, directly at us. But, those guys are good, and holding them to only 1 touchdown is, I guess, something you can hang your hat on. But, we definitely want to win more games.
Tank, Corey's got a question for you in the studio.
Hey, Tank, tell us about the sack. You and Tommy combined to get Donovan McNabb early in the game. What did that mean to you?
Oh, it was definitely a special feeling to get a sack in this league, and especially on a good quarterback like Donovan McNabb. And Tommy and I, we're gonna work good together for a long time, and we have a lot of things that we're gonna be able to do and be successful at in this league, and we're excited about it.
Tank, Tom Waddle back in the studio after being on the field for 37 minutes. I'm figuring half of the defense needed an IV bag after the game.
A lot of guys were tired, and we are out there for a long time, but we got to go out there and stop them, and we get off the field and take more initiative. Then we can get off the field, in those clutch situations, in those long third downs.
Tank, being new to the league, did you actually spend time watching Donovan McNabb growing up?
Yeah, I mean, McNabb he's a great player, and he's proven himself in this league, and he's obviously someone you want to get to and sack him, and if I can sack him some more, I can, and I'll be happy about that.
I think in years to come, Bear fans are going to really be excited about the Tommy and Tank show. Now, going into this bye week, you got some things to work on defensively and offensively. What did the coach tell you after this game which should be the focus for the defense?
I think our defense's focus right now is one, getting guys healthy, getting guys back, and 2, we gotta be more gap sound. Our defense is not a complex one where you have to know a lot of checks and audibles. It's just get up the field, and as long as guys trust one another and get up the field, we're gonna have a good defense a lot down the stretch.
All right, thanks, Tank. Thank you guys in the studio.
All right, Sean and Big Tank out there. We appreciate it, gentlemen. And Tommy, talk about the pressure today, which I thought was better than we've seen, and particularly going up against a guy like McNabb, who is so mobile.
They got to him twice, 2 sacks. They pressured him all day long, and maybe most importantly, they limited Donovan McNabb to 1 carry for 2 yards. Now, I know he has a tendency to want to sit back in the pocket these days and beat you with his arm as opposed to his legs, but to limit Donovan McNabb to 2 yards rushing, that is a feat in itself.
It is. It is. Last time Donovan came in, remember, they closed up Soldier Field, beat the Bears in the playoffs.
I do remember.
Yes, you remember. A lot of people do. He got it done again today. Maybe not quite so perfectly, but the Phillies walk out of here still as an unbeaten football team. A final break and back with more on the postgame show after this.
Second down and goal from the 2-yard line, and it's play action. And here is Quinn going to run it and throws, and the pass caught, touchdown to Brian Johnson. So Quinn gets his first touchdown as a Chicago Bear.
It takes extreme.
Here we got Sean Gale and R.W. McQuarters. Sean?
And guys, I'm here with the always fashionable R.W. McQuarters. You had to listen to the stories all week long about the tandem of McNabb and Terrell Owens. Mm-hmm. Going into this game, you felt that you had to focus on those two. How do you feel defensively overall you guys are playing at this point in the season?
Well, obviously, our defensive goal is to hold the opponent 17 points or less. Today they had 19. I think the biggest thing when you look at defense, first and second down, I mean, it matters, but then again, it doesn't matter. When you get to third down, that's when you want to get off the field, whether it be 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, or 3rd and 17, or whatever the case may be. I think the biggest thing defensively is we got to learn to get off the field on 3rd down.
Do you think today's showing, or maybe lack of showing for the offense, will create some tension in the team, offense and defense, anything like that?
No, not at all, man. This is a long season, man. We understand that, and prior to this game, you know, Thomas Jones averaged rushing 100+ yards. You know, that's our offense. Jonathan Quinn is our quarterback. This is our defense, our special teams, whatever the case may be, and that's how we're going to go into each week, you know, thinking if we go into it with question marks, then you'll never be able to get on the right track. So we understand that that's our offense, and we need to pick the ball off and get turnovers and get offense to short field, and you know, hopefully get it done that way.
Yeah, well, you guys are looking good. Well, listen, thanks for stopping by, RW.
Appreciate it.
Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Sean Gale, and as always, the fashionable RW McQuarters. Thanks,
I've got
guys.
that hat at home.
I know, but yours is a little yellow, isn't it, kind of?
It is.
Let's talk real quickly about what's up tonight. It's called The Final Word at 10 o'clock. A special guest tonight, Tommy, as well, right?
Wally.
What are they going to do with a guy who hasn't played in 3 years?
A little rust.
What do you expect? A quarterback who hasn't started since 2001, 5 defensive starters out with injury, and you're playing the best team in the conference. What do you think's going to happen? Well, no surprises for the Bears at Soldier Field today. We have a few highlights for you. Bears trotting out new captains every week, it seems. Starts out promising enough. Early on, Alex Brown going after Donovan McNabb. Mission accomplished. The defense holding their own. But McNabb here looking for Terrell Owens. Touchdown. Only Eagles TD of the day. Do some sit-ups there, Tio. I love it. Bears try to answer, and Jonathan Quinn, nice play here, looking for Brian Johnson, and finds him for the score. But that would not be enough. David Akers, 4 field goals for Philadelphia. Your final, Eagles 19, the Bears 9.
That kind of sums it up.
Jonathan's a good player. He's going to lead us to a lot of wins this year. His next outing will be better than his first. His next outing will be better, like a lot. I could say that about a lot of other guys, too.
And for more on the game, join us tonight for the final word. Bears defensive end Adewale Ogunleye will join us.
To fullback Brian Johnson with less than 4 minutes to play. One of the few bright spots in an ugly game that was hard to watch at times. Thomas Jones held to 32 yards rushing. The Bears fall 19-9, fall to 1-3, heading to the bye week.
What is going on out there? Hey, come on! What is going on out there? Come on, get him!
You know, I think as a team we got to keep the defense off the field. You know, we got to get first downs. We got to put more points on the board, and you know, obviously the accuracy of the throws I need to work on. You know, there's a lot of room for improvement out there.
With a good offense and a good quarterback like that, we were able to do some really good stuff. So that's promising. But at the same time, you know, we got to try to find ways to. Now it seems like keep them from field goal range, because you know we did a good job in that. You know, they only scored 1 touchdown, which was good.
You have to look at it like this. We just finished up the first quarter of a game, and we're behind. We have 3 quarters to go, and that's how our football team is right now. We get some reinforcements a little bit later on after that open break, and then we'll put a better team out on the football field.
Well, with the playoffs out of the picture, the Cubs had nothing to play for in the season finale against Atlanta, except a little pride, and to finish with one more.
The Bears Game Night Live. I'm Mark Shanowski along with former Bears guard Tom Thayer. Tom, we knew it wouldn't be easy going up against one of the best teams in the NFL, but for 3 quarters, the Eagles really dominated on both sides of the football.
They did, and the frustrating thing about it is even as much as you want to say they dominated, the Bears were still in the game. They had the muff punt and they had a couple bad plays, but for the most part, Philly never really dominated this game statistically or any other way you want to look at it. Their biggest statistic dominance was the time of possession.
We'll talk more about Jonathan Quinn in a little bit, but it seemed like the game plan was really conservative early. They didn't want him to make some mistakes right off the bat.
I think it's sort of getting Jonathan Quinn involved in the mix, giving him a couple passes to become comfortable with. And when the early throws weren't necessarily made on target, it starts to set in the mind of the quarterback, and you start to need some reassurance that you are capable of doing this job. And I think the best way to get reassured at the quarterback position is have an efficient running game. And the running game really never took that next step. And, you know, they really did a nice job of concentrating on stopping Thomas Jones. And then when they needed the big third down conversion. Again, that pass wasn't on target.
Kind of the anatomy of a loss right there. We all knew there would be some growing pains with Jonathan Quinn taking over from Rex Grossman at quarterback, but no one at Soldier Field expected the Bears to manage only 90 yards of total offense through the first 3 quarters. R.W. McQuarters trying to get the big crowd and his teammates pumped up, and the Bears defense did make some big plays early. Sacks by our guest tonight, Alex Brown, and also Tank Johnson stopped Philadelphia's opening drive. Johnson getting some help on that play from fellow rookie Tommy Harris. Eagles led 6-0 in the second quarter when a big mistake on special teams really hurt the Bears. Rookie Nathan Vasher ran into RW as he tried to field a punt. Tahani Jones recovered inside Bears territory. That set up Philadelphia's only touchdown of the day, an 11-yard strike from Donovan McNabb to his favorite receiver, Terrell Owens. A little end zone celebration, but Tom tells me that's okay. It's just one guy celebrating. And Owens wasn't done having fun against the Bears defense. He gets behind McQuarters, a 44-yard game. That set up a third David Akers field goal and a 16-0 lead. Tom, I know one of your keys was trying to defend Owens.
Was just trying to stay with Terrell Owens and not let him get open. It's going to be tough for any cornerback in the NFL to do it, but you need to be complimented again by your pass rush to put pressure on Donovan McNabb so he doesn't have a chance to survey downfield.
Bears doing a nice job in the hurry-up offense late in the half. That set up a field goal, so it's 16-3 at halftime. Third quarter action now. Once again, the defense makes a nice play. Hunter Hillenmeyer with the tip. Nathan Vasher with the interception. That's the first time McNabb has been intercepted all season long. But the Bears could not take advantage of the turnover. Quinn was sacked on back-to-back plays, this time by Lito Shepherd on the corner blitz. Tom, who's supposed to block that guy?
It's a blitz from the outside, so the quarterback is always going to be responsible for one guy himself. And I think one of the configurations of the Jim Johnson-led defense of the Philadelphia Eagles is rush to a point. You don't necessarily have to be worried about contain because Jonathan Quinn is not that fleet of foot.
Eagles go into some softer coverages in the fourth quarter. David Terrell at over 100 yards receiving today. Jonathan Quinn finally able to cash in. Good patience on the rollout. He waits for the defense to commit and then gets the ball to Brian Johnson for a touchdown. He did show good poise on this play.
Right, it is. And good mobility there by Jonathan Quinn to using the whole field. Got all the way to the sidelines, a couple steps upfield, and then found his receiver open in the end zone. And, you need to see a lot more of that in the future.
I'm sure Lovie Smith wants to see more positive plays by his offense. Taking a look at the final stats, this gives you an idea of why the Eagles dominated the game. They outrushed the Bears 154-32, running the strong suit, of course, for this offense. 24 first downs for Philadelphia to 14 for the Bears. The Eagles had the ball almost 15 minutes longer. Tom, what jumps out on that stat panel?
Well, obviously the rush yards and the time of possession, which I mentioned earlier. I think when you have 154 yards rushing, that means your offense is on the field a lot longer. And then you have that security blanket that Donovan McNabb can use, and now he doesn't feel the whole pressure of that offense performance is on his shoulders.
And here's what some of the key players were saying after the game today.
Well, obviously, the end result was not good. We always want to win. Missed some passes I should have hit early, a little rusty. Put the defense in a spot, but kind of rhythm there toward the end. It was just a little too late, that's all.
We just needed to execute better. We didn't execute all of our plays the way that we did in practice, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but we just didn't make the plays we needed to make.
Right now, we're going to war with the best guys that I came here on this defense are not even playing. So right now, we're just trying to make it.
We just got to believe in what coach is teaching us and believe in the fact that, he knows what's best. And hopefully we'll get this thing going. We will. Offense will get going. Just got to get used to a new quarterback.
We showed you Jonathan Quinn's numbers, 26 of 43 for 215 yards. But, Tom, especially early, he looked tentative. He was missing guys, and he was settling for all the underneath stuff. Was he just not seeing the field very well today?
I think it was a combination of just not been on the field for a long time. And when the season starts, Rex Grossman had most of the snaps with the first unit offense, so repetitiously he just hasn't had the chance. And I think the wind and the field conditions were so unsettling to a quarterback. He never had confidence in passes over 10 or 12 yards long because I think the wind really affected the flight of the ball.
How much better do you think he can be in 2 weeks from now when they play their next game?
Well, you saw the way the Bears played in the first game of the season against Detroit and the way the scheme was effectively used against Green Bay in week 2. So definitely this week of practice is going to be important for the Bears, for Jonathan Quinn and his receivers to get their timing down, and for just the positive reinforcement that this young coaching staff has been given this team since they started in training camp. So fundamentally, this is the only week during the regular season you're going to have a chance to work on the little things, and the little things lead to the big plays.
As you mentioned, a very important couple of weeks of practice. Now it's time for our weekly feature. It's the Cannon Business Solutions Talk with the Coach. Lovie Smith knows the Eagles really took his team out of its game plan on both sides of the football.
On the offensive side of the ball, we really felt like we had to be able to run the football. That's what we do best. That's our personality. We weren't able to do that early and had to get in a passing game a little bit later on. And on the defensive side of the football, they were able to run the football. We knew we had weapons to deal with as far as in passing the ball, but you can't let a team run on you, and they were able to do that.
Early on, you were getting good pressure on McNabb. You had a couple of sacks. You had to be feeling good about the way the defense was executing.
Yes, we have a lot of talent on our defensive line, and they should get better and better, but there was good pressure early on the quarterback, and even at some of the key times later, but again, we still have to be able to get more.
Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Everyone looking at Jonathan Quinn making his first start for the Bears today. How did you feel he executed?
I think Jonathan did okay. I mean, to tell exactly how a quarterback really played, you have to look at the final score. And we weren't able to move the ball as well as we would like. You know, we didn't hit a couple throws, but I think Jonathan played the way a lot of our players, a lot of us played today and performed today. And we realized that for him, it was just about setting a bar, as I see it. You know, we're going to judge him. He set the bar, and he has to improve from here on out. Jonathan has everything that it takes to be a good quarterback in this league, and experience, of course, was one of those things he was missing. He got a lot of that. He was in a lot of situations today that would help him later on.
Bye week coming up. You hoping to get some of the injured players back in the lineup in 2 weeks?
Yes, we have to. Of course, there's a lot of work that we have to get done, but we need to get our team back on the field. So we'll practice a couple of days next week, but we'll use it to heal up and really get ready for the biggest part of our season. Mark, as I talked to the team in there a little while ago, I talked to them about we're behind in the first quarter. That's reality. That's all that's happened so far this year. We have 3 quarters left still to prove that we're a good football team.
And that second quarter starts in 2 weeks against the Washington Redskins. Coming up after a break, we'll bring in our player guest, defensive end Alex Brown. Alex made a big play early with a sack of Donovan McNabb, but the Bears defense had a tough time getting off the football field. We'll ask Alex what happened this afternoon next.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Quinn, and you're watching Bears Game Night Live.
Bears Game Night Live. Sponsored by Cannon Business Solutions.
You want to know my favorite kind of email? The kind that saves me money. I want an email to let me know if my balance gets lower, if a payment's due, or if a check clears.
Maximum Strength Checking from Bank One.
I want a bank that watches my back. Hey, free checking is great, but there's more to free checking than just checks.
Free email alerts that save you money.
An email from my bank that saves me money? I'll read that.
Maximum Strength Checking. Only from Bank One.
Here you go, Monica.
Thank you.
It's your move.
This is so fun. I've never really played this game.
Okay, I've got Roughing the Palate on Keith, giving its native beer with less flavor. Not cool. Replacing with genuine flavored, cold filtered, smooth Miller Genuine Draft. Oh boy. We've also got a noticeable unibrow on Keith. That's a no second date penalty. Still single. Leave
What?
Miller. Good call.
A lot of service facilities advertise oil changes as a loss leader. That doesn't happen at Jiffy Lube.
Well, an inexpensive oil change doesn't always mean that you will spend less money.
At Jiffy Lube, oil changes are not a loss leader. Oil changes are our main line of business. We're in the oil change business, and we provide fluid maintenance for your car.
At Jiffy Lube, we're the specialists. We do it right, one price, and that's how we take care of your car. So if you're driving by and you see Jiffy Lube, look at your sticker.
you may need an oil change.
So, what makes a quality car?
Safety features. Safety's number one.
Toyota Camry has an advanced airbag system and anti-lock brake system.
Quality car means value. Good mileage.
Camry was named an excellent value, and it gets 33 miles per gallon.
Somebody give me a Camry.
Get 1.9% financing for 36 months on the 05 Solara or Camry, or go for a great Camry lease. See your Toyota dealer.
Bears Game Night Live is sponsored by Canon Business Solutions, the office technology provider for Chicagoland and the Bears. And brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Miller, good call. And by Bank One, presenting partner of the Chicago Bears and home of Maximum Strength Checking. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Bears Game Night Live. Time to welcome in Bears defensive end Alex Brown. You got that sack early on Donovan McNabb. Were you thinking this is going to be a really good game?
Well, I thought so. In the beginning, we were coming after him. We were getting good pressure, and we got good pressure. Later in the game, we just weren't able to get back there for some reason, or they started to run the ball. So, I mean, once they got that going, I mean, it's really tough. I mean, to stop Donovan is one thing, but to stop him with a running game, that makes it pretty difficult.
Yeah.
When you rush Donovan McNabb, do you think about that when you get pressure to him that it's going to be harder to take him down because he's such a big, strong, powerful quarterback, and it's going to take more than just pressure in his face that's going to bring him to the ground?
Oh yeah, it's going to take more because we watching film on him all week. He'd break tackles, throw the ball, throw a touchdown, or throw the ball out of bounds or something. So just to get him down and then see that he still has the ball, I mean, it's a great feeling. So. But he's an unbelievable quarterback, unbelievable athlete, and then he got those people around him. I mean, they're tough. They're tough.
You see a little bit of that ex-point guard basketball player in him when he does lead a team and he can scramble himself out of harm's way and still release the ball for a big play.
Oh yes, definitely. You could tell he played at one point in time and probably still plays. So.
Yeah, but you know what? He had to play with Antoine Walker at Mount Carmel High School, so that means Donovan never got to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Antoine, if you're watching, we're just kidding around about that.
He didn't have a problem with that.
Let's talk about Philadelphia's running game. Brian Westbrook, we were mentioning the fact he was a third-string back a couple of years ago. 23 carries, 115 yards. He also caught the ball 9 times for 63. How good was he in this game today?
Very good athlete, big play. He's a big play guy. You don't realize how fast he is till you get out there and run behind him or run after him. And he's fast and he makes very good decisions. He's quick. He gets in the hole and all of a sudden he's gone. So he's good. I think he helps their team a lot.
You know, watching the Philadelphia Eagles run, they run towards the perimeter of the defense. Now, it seemed like the interior of the defense did a good job of stopping the running game, but then he was running towards, I want to say, the defensive end position, but then you take in consideration that Brian Urlacher is not in the mix. The sideline to sideline, the speed that Brian Urlacher offers a run-stopping defense, does it put more pressure on you guys at defensive ends when the team is running, not necessarily towards the sideline, but towards the defensive ends' outside shoulders?
Oh, yes. I mean, it puts pressure on us to close that gap down because Brian's not in there, and I mean, Hunter's doing the best he can.
Right.
I mean, if he's not getting there, then we got to make adjustments as far as the defensive line. We can't do the same things that we would do if Urlacher was in there because Urlacher is 4.4 speed. Right. He's unbelievable. So he'll get there, but we got to close that hole down and not make it so hard for Hunter.
And teams obviously take in consideration that Urlacher's not in there and that the guy that's playing does not have the same speed you mentioned that Urlacher does.
I mean, it's not a knock on Hunter at all.
Right.
I mean, but it's just. I mean, nobody on our team has the ability Urlacher has. I mean, he's just that good.
Right. Tom, let's talk some offensive line play for the Bears. They wanted to run the ball with Thomas Jones and couldn't do it. What did the Eagles do to take the run game away?
Well, because you know that you don't have the deception that Rex Grossman offers this team at this time, and so when they don't have to worry so much about contain, all of a sudden you start seeing 8 men in the box mostly every time, and sometimes 9 men in the box within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage, and that means there's always 2 extra tacklers than there are blockers at times. So it just makes it more difficult to run the ball with Thomas Jones, Anthony Thomas, whoever you would have in the lineup. And, you know, Train didn't get a snap today, so it's sort of, they got to completely focus on stopping Thomas Jones.
Alex, did you talk to your old Florida buddy, Javon Kearse, today?
Yeah, I did. Talked to him after the game. He was like, well, you got me in sacks, but we got to win. So, and I told him I'd trade him.
Yeah.
I would trade him.
He had one tackle, so he wasn't a factor.
Yeah. The offensive tackles did a nice job against Javon Kearse, both Kasim Mitchell and John Tate. And then when he tried to line up as a stand-up inside rusher over the guards and centers, they did a nice job against him. Javon Kearse was not the reason the Bears lost today. He was not a factor.
But he's still the freak.
Right.
Coming up next is a feature you won't see anywhere else except here on Bears Game Night Live. Each week we mic up a player to bring you the sounds of the game. That's coming up next.
Watching Game Night Live with Desmond Clark from the Chicago Bears.
Bears Game Night Live. Sponsored by Canon Business Solutions.
We used to get really stressed about missing our TV shows.
While we're young.
Then we tried dealing with it. Aromatherapy, acupuncture.
Zen Master.
But now with Comcast digital cable, we can record our favorite shows and watch them whenever.
And we can pause and rewind live TV.
So we got rid of our stress remedies, except the Zen Master.
I like them.
That was then. This is Comcast.
Everything okay in here?
Hey, sometimes you want to be lied to, but not by your phone company. For straight talk on business phone and high-speed internet, call TDS Metrocom, a Bear necessity.
Keep up the good work.
TDS Metrocom, proud partner of the Chicago Bears.
Everything is so fresh.
I wonder who her caterer is.
It's me.
I'm the caterer.
Please. Come on, Patricia, who is it?
Everything at Jewel. What, you think I have a fancy chef back there with a tall white hat and a funny accent?
Can I have his number?
Jewel, helping make your life easier.
Thank you for bringing me.
You look beautiful.
I've got an eligible beer in the cooler on Hector. Less taste, very unmacho. Replacing with great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Half the carbs of Bud Light. Wow, we've also got a disproportionately hot girlfriend. I will need further review.
Hi there.
I think I can. Oh,
please. Hey, Tina.
Miller. Good call. NBC5 News at 10 with Warner Saunders and Allison Rosati. More news that matters. More stories that uncover your world.
Are you saying that you didn't do it? We filed a Freedom of Information Act.
Keep you healthy.
A warning for women taking medications.
And keep your family safe.
Tempered glass of a side window.
More Bears analysis and more weather coverage to plan your day.
The Big Friday forecast.
NBC5 News at 10. More experience.
Shotgun. McNabb goes to work. Gaines starts to close. McNabb leaves the pocket. One pump. Stops. And it's intercepted. Tipped right to Nathan Bannister. Bears football.
That's what it sounded like in the Bears radio booth this afternoon. Things a lot more intense right down on the field. This week, it's wide receiver Justin Gage mic'd up for our special feature. It's the sounds of the game.
And we back at it again, baby. Dig what we finna do today. It's all great. We at the house. We got the Eagles. Beautiful day, man. Hey, can't ask for nothing more. We finna go get this one. So high and hard. All right, 20. We finna get you down the field. Dang, them boys catching them lucky. Trio. We can do a lot of stuff, man. Go Tiger outside. Go dime. We got a lot of options. If it ain't understood now that we can move the ball in the air,
It won't ever be understood.
Yeah, it ain't never gonna be understood.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Hey, make sure when you straighten, make sure you see that safety because they might cheat. Okay, TJ. Oh, get him, Hunter. Get him, Hunter. Good Good Hunter.
Let's get the ball. Get the ball on three. 1, 2, 3. Get the ball.
Tough day for the Bears, obviously. Justin didn't catch a pass today. You go up against these receivers all the time in practice. Tell the folks about this group of receivers the Bears have.
I think they're good. They're good. They have a certain attitude about themselves that we all like. They all bring, I think, different things to the table. Like Bobby Wade doesn't bring the same thing as Justin Gage or David Terrell. So, but, I mean, as a group, they're good.
Of course, when we run the sounds of the game, it's always a 3 bleep minimum. And Alex said he would pass that after the first series, right?
Yes, definitely.
We'll keep the mic off you. Coming up next, there is some good news for Bear fans today. Brett Favre and the Packers really got roughed up at Lambeau Field. We'll show you the action.
Michael Hayden, Chicago Bears. You're watching Game Night Live.
Bears Game Night Live. Sponsored by Canon Business Solutions.
$212 this afternoon, but he wasn't around at the end of the game. Giants defensive lineman William Joseph drove his head into the turf. That caused a concussion, but Favre came in and threw a touchdown pass 2 plays later. A little wobbly, but it gets there. After that, though, the team doctor said, "You've had enough. You're not playing any more football today." Packers went on to lose at 14-7. They fall to 1-3 for the season. Obviously, a full week of practice coming up. What is the most important priority for the defense in terms of getting better?
Oh, get healthy.